This is Chief Crow and the Flat Earthworms Auto Hoax, or GTFO. It's pretty much our only rule here. And, pretty much people filter themselves out if it's a little too much. I came across something today that made me realize just how irreverent many of us are uh, in the view of the people who believe in the MSM world stage hoaxed worldview. I'm going to go ahead and send out a notification really quick before we get started. So, for those of you who are on D Live or YouTube or whatever, go ahead and share the streams, and I'll go ahead and have this sent out right now. And what I've been sending people to, by the way, is just infiniteplainradio.live. That gets you to all the different links that you would possibly need to find where we're at. Alright, we're joined already. Facts About Cat says, this song reminds me of John Spencer Blues Explosion. He also did the theme song for Mad Mike's radio show. The videos are great as well. Alright, let's continue. X-Pac's here. Lean Dion. Facts Again says, the MSM is the real religion of the MSM. Oh, it is. That's why I call them church ladies. Essentially we're being blasphemous. But I saw the most interesting thing today, and it kind of reminded me of just like, not how out of touch we are, but how out of touch they are. And what it is, I was looking through my Twitter feed here, and I was looking at this new podcast by Mick West. And he's talking to a 9/11 truther, and his whole objective, I guess, is to like correct this guy, or at least set him straight. So they had a long talk about 9/11 truth and all this. But it started out with a moment of silence for the victims, for the people who died from the dust inhalation, and then the people who died in the wars. And it was like this really somber moment there. And I'm like, wow. I forget just how unserious we take the news. And they do see what we say as a form of blasphemy. But, generally, like I said with the theme song, Auto Hoax or GTFO, if the people can't handle it, they don't have to listen. It's not like this is mandatory. There's an opt out. It's called Change the Channel. If reality is hard to bear, if you prefer the illusion, well, you know where to find it. Okay, I want to go through a number of things. This morning we did talk about the Morgile and his 4-hour hit piece. I think we said all that needed to be said. I just think it's important to make responses. Also, one of our favorite guardrails high impact flicks, who's Vegas Strong, a fake truther, is running for president in 2020. And what do I mean? Well, he's about as Vegas Strong as Eminem, or David Hogg even, or Alex Jones. They're insisting that something happened. They just can't figure out who did it. And it's like, what do you mean? Who did it? Was it even done? That's the real question. And with Vegas, it's pretty clear. So for him to go in and throw in this idea that it was done by someone in a helicopter, that's just lying. I want to give a shout out, first of all, to PewDiePie and all my bowl cuts out there. Check this out. YouTube moderators are being forced to sign a statement acknowledging that the job can give them PTSD. So they bring on like 10,000 moderators to censor our thoughts. And this is what I'm saying. We say 9/11 was theater, and they're like still like mourning over it because they think it was real. Or they think it was done, but it was done by someone other than what was reported, and therefore it's still an unsolved crime, a crime scene in progress. So it's agitated people at a deep level. So when we say things flippantly, like that's not real, I don't believe this, I don't believe that, it might actually be triggering. So what it looks to me like they have to have a trigger warning here. I mean, for all these guys, just like, look, you're getting into this field and it may give you PTSD. I think this is nonsense, to be honest. I mean, look, They want you to think that one, looking at misinformation or quote wrong information or non-mainstream information is bad for your mental health and it makes you an anti-vaxxer and a flat earther and a Holocaust denier. But they also want to make it look like there's a correlation between non-mainstream information and mental health issues, mental health breakdown. You're mentally ill if you have the wrong ideas. If you're over on DLive, you know now that we have crossed the 1,000 line. So thanks to all of you who jumped in at the last minute here. We just lost a YouTube channel, so I figured, you know what, let's just spend an extra day hyper focused on DLive. And we crossed that line. I applied for partner status, and I expect it to go through any day now. They said 2 weeks. Anyway, this is basically recycled news from last year. Last year we found out that the people at Cognizant were having breakdowns because of us, basically. Memes. They were getting infected. And here's something else too. There's a agenda here. Here's the agenda. And I predicted this in 2019. The agenda is this. It's too toxic for people. We need robots to do it. Like we need robots to work on these sick people. And they brought that out. We need robots to work on this sick information so it doesn't spread. And by robots, I mean algorithms. I mean, they're basically trying to automate the process of censoring stuff and also training the population to self censor. Like, are you sure you want to post that? That may get you flagged. It says content moderators for YouTube are being ordered to sign a document acknowledging that performing the job can cause post traumatic stress disorder, according to employees and documents obtained by The Verge. So they're investigating this, and like I'm saying, it's all just a hoax. I mean, it's a psyop. These people are not that. They just, look, if they're willing to be censors for a living, if that's the type of person you're dealing with, then odds are they'll take an easy way out. Oh, I can claim PTSD and collect a check. Like, I think they're all faking it. I don't believe there's a single person here with PTSD just because they work at YouTube. I don't believe it whatsoever. I think they've been given the opportunity to play this role. Essentially, they're crisis actors. They're crisis acting to make it look like they're victims of mind viruses. Bunch of phonies. And look, I've worked at jobs, and I'm sure you have too. People, you worked around hospitals or something. You've seen, quote, traumatic things or trauma scenes. You may have seen corpses, dead bodies, people dying. But, you know, you walk away from it. And maybe there's PTSD, but whatever. That's believable versus these people are sitting in a cubicle, binging on junk food, and who knows what kind of drugs they're on. Okay, so it says, quote, I understand, and this is from the form, I understand that the content I will be reviewing may be disturbing. It is possible that reviewing such content may impact my mental health. Told you. And it could lead to PTSD. I will take advantage of the We Care program and seek mental health services if needed. I will tell my supervisor that I believe the work is affecting my mental health. So there you go. Become a YouTube moderator. Say you listen to too much Infinite Plane Society. Go to your We Care program mental health service provider and you collect basically a crazy check for the rest of your life. All right, let me go ahead and open my phones. 505-510-4226 if you are an insider. Infinite Plane Radio, are you an insider to this topic, or do you have any information about this idea that moderators are getting PTSD?
Hey, hello?
Hey, what's up? How you doing today?
Hey, this is where it's at, Tampa, Florida.
Awesome.
Hey, I am in Tampa, Florida. I can't say as much as I want to say because of NDAs and all that. But listen, IPS, Inside Baseball, I'm going to tell you something right now. You're listening to one of the most important calls ever. I'm going to tell you, I can tell you everything about moderation. Content moderator. Y'all can ask me anything about this, this. I can't even believe it because this is one of the newest industries, content moderation. Right now, if all the content moderators were not working for YouTube or Facebook, they would have to shut down all those platforms. So
Okay, okay.
everybody,
I have two
go ahead,
questions.
go ahead.
First of all, a couple of questions. One, what are the qualifications to become one? What do they get?
Nothing,
Okay,
nothing.
okay. Two, what do they get paid? And then three, are they
$15, $15 an hour.
okay? And are they remote workers from home, or do they have a cubicle at
No,
home?
no, you have to be in the building. Facebook is not going to give anybody remote. Listen, bro, I did this for 2 years plus. Listen, this is the biggest. Listen. You could call me IPS on the real. I will give you the inside baseball on all this before the rest of the world. Content moderation is one of the least content. Listen, this is one of the least regulated and new businesses in fuck, man, I'm fucked up. The only thing I can really say is
Wait.
that
This
this
is
is
good. Wait. First of all, you're suggesting okay, it's unregulated. That's one of my issues with it. Is that
it's
uh,
unregulated, totally. It's
look,
completed. Listen, I watched somebody die doing this. I'm gonna fuck up my whole shit, bro. I'm telling you, I'm sitting on the biggest news. This is the biggest story in the whole world right now about what Facebook is doing. This is not a mental issue. It's about neurology, bro. The same way people get sucked into movies when they're watching it or playing video games, these content moderators are getting fucked. Content moderators, if they did not work right now, Facebook and YouTube would die right now. And they're fucking us. I mean, my bad. They're fucking those people. What happening? Listen, the crisis actors are the ones that the Verge. Listen, bro, I'm gonna tell you some. Listen, you know who I am. I'm telling you, I can't break NDAs right now, but this is the biggest story right now, and they're fucking the whole world. They're
oh,
fucking the
wait.
whole
So
world.
did I hear you suggest that what's actually causing the adverse effects is something having to do with the
Neurology. It's not mental health. It's a lie right now. I'm telling you, the people in the Verge, those are content. Those are crisis actors, bro. This is what I listen. Listen, my girl right now is tripping on me, bro. This is what I'm still on Cognizant's payroll, bro. I can answer anything about content moderation
okay,
on the
here's
real.
something. Here's something. Okay, are they politically motivated? Is it mostly
No,
liberals, or is it
no,
something?
no, 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 no. It's all about money. Facebook right now. Trump just spent a whole bunch of money with content with Facebook, bro. They all fuck with Facebook, bro. I watched a content moderation. I watched somebody die in Tampa, Florida. Right now, Hillsborough County don't give a fuck.
Wait.
Florida,
When you say die, are you saying that
he died.
you saying that
I'm
something
telling you that I watched one of my content moderation. Listen, bro.
cause of death, please?
Listen.
What is the cause of death precisely?
I don't know. Nobody knows because Hillsborough County, the police did not talk to us. Nobody. Listen, right now, Facebook is bigger than the government. I'm giving you the biggest story in the world right now. IPS, bro. Content moderators don't give a fuck about right or left. They want to make $15 an hour. Baby, don't say nothing. I'm telling you some real shit. Don't say nothing. I got you.
Say it so loud.
I know. Yeah, yeah. Listen, my girl tripping. I'm telling you some real shit right now. Content moderators don't give a fuck about right or left. They
Okay,
want to
so
make $15
are you
an
wait?
hour.
Just for the people who are listening, you're suggesting that more or less they're guinea pigs, that they're being affected by.
Yes, yes, and they're gonna piggyback on this fucking mental illness. Is 2020 IPS? I'm giving you the biggest fucking ice, the biggest. Listen, I'm gonna calm down right now because this is my life, bro. This is what I've done for the last 2
Hey,
years,
this
bro.
is sounding a lot like the movie They Live, where they're sending signals out of the TV that are hypnotizing the masses.
It's all fucked up, bro. Listen, the same content moderators. I'm gonna say it again. The same way you watch a movie or you play a video game, right? The way neurology, your brain works. You watch the videos, you watch a movie, or you play a video game. Imagine watching fucked up shit for 8 hours
Okay, you're saying it's just
straight.
you're saying that the content itself actually is affecting them. It's not actually like
Yes,
okay.
because you're watching a movie, bro. I could tell you everything about Christ. What was it? New Zealand, Christchurch. What was the name of that event? Where was that shit?
Christchurch, New Zealand.
Bro, I could tell you everything about that video.
Oh, me too. We analyze it ad nauseum,
Everything.
and
No, listen, bro. I'm a content moderator, bro. I watch that shit. Facebook did not know when in real time. Baby, listen, baby. Hold on. Listen, I'm gonna tell you the real shit. I'm tired of this NDA shit. Cause it's fucked up. It's my life. I'm fucked up right now. Y'all not hearing me. I've had a stroke. Fuck the right and left, all that shit, bro. On the real, I'm telling you on the realest shit on my life, this shit will be in the news. Right now, Facebook, YouTube, everybody, without the content moderators, those platforms will stop. They can't censor you. They're fucking us up. Bro. I'm telling you.
well,
On the real.
I don't want you to violate your NDA. But for everyone who's listening, you're suggesting that the people who are censoring, you're encountering such a volume of certain types of content that it's actually having
Bro,
this
I can
PTSD
tell
is.
you that. I can tell you everything about New Zealand, fucking 7-Eleven, every shooting, everything. I can tell you, Nipsey Hussle, Triple X, all this shit is fake, bro. You're not hearing me.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Y'all coming down on the content moderators when y'all need to look out for us. Because right now, content moderators, if we stop working right now, content, Facebook, all that shit was shut down right now. Promise you.
So how do
You're
you
not hearing me.
well how do you feel about this agreement that to work there you are actually being
No,
subjected?
it don't matter because they could have gave me that shit before I worked there. I would never have worked there. My whole life is fucked up behind this shit. On the real shit. I'm mad as fuck. I still work for them. I still work for Cognizant, and I still work for Facebook right now, and I'm going to bring them, I'm going to take this shit all the way to fucking Supreme Court. Bro, IPS, you got my number. You could call me. Last week, I told you there's something big, bro. I'm telling you right now, what you guys are talking about is fucked up. I don't give a fuck about right or left. I make $15 an hour. What the fuck do I give a fuck about the right or the left? For real.
Well,
And I love you. I'm telling you the truth right now. The whole shit is fucked up right now.
okay, well listen to this. This is a quote from the Verge. It says, "It is possible that reviewing."
Hold on. The Verge, those motherfuckers those are the crisis actors. Those people that listen, I've been working there for over 2 years doing this job, bro. I can tell you everything about this job. And it's going to court right now. And I'm going to tell you something else. The day they cut me, the day they cut me off, right? I my biggest my mission in life is to bring this. This is an unregulated industry, bro. Right now, Facebook, Cognizant, Accenture, Gene Core, all these companies right now, they are making money
Okay,
off of people like me.
let me go ahead and let me go ahead and fill people in really quick from The Verge because this is good and I think you'll agree with it. It says here, employees saying that they are struggling to afford rent and dealing with
Facts,
severe mental
facts,
health issues. And it says here,
facts.
um, they're trying to avoid this being exposed because potential future
Yeah,
class action lawsuits. So you're one
yeah,
of these
yeah.
persons who has
I'm
been.
telling you right now that they're going. I'm going to predict. Listen, I IPS, hit me up on my phone, off the line, and all this shit. I will give you this. I'm giving you the biggest story in America right now.
Okay, what do you
This
have?
is
Wait,
going to
do
be.
you have this?
Go ahead.
Do you have insomnia, anxiety, or depression, or full-blown PTSD as a result of?
All of it. All of it. And neurology. It's the neurology is the biggest shit, bro. Because right now, what they're trying to sell everybody is that this is a mental illness shit. And I'm going to tell you right now, IPS, bro, I love you, bro. Right now, the biggest issue is not mental illness. It's fucking. Listen, bro, they have people in there that work at Cognizant in Tampa. I'm going to give you the real shit right now. That there are managers at Cognizant in Tampa right now. Put this shit on YouTube. They have people at Cognizant that worked before they worked at Cognizant. They worked at fucking Guantanamo Bay, bro. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. It's a fucking experiment, bro. Like, yo, listen, bro. I'm telling you the real shit. I'll talk to you. I can talk to you about the whole shit, what they do. I was there when the fucking Christchurch New Zealand shit broke. I was there, bro. And it did not look real, bro. I had to watch that shit over and over again, and Facebook is telling me I'm looking at some fake shit, and they're telling me that this is some real shit. And everybody's trying to look at us. They using us. People that are making $15 an hour. Cognizant is a company that's from fucking India, bro. It's a caste system, bro. A caste system. They look at us like we're not shit, bro. On the real. This is the realest shit. I'm giving you the biggest story, bro. Listen, I have lawyers and all this shit.
Well, look.
I will take this shit to the fucking Supreme Court, bro.
This story here about YouTube moderators being forced to sign a statement about PTSD.
I saw it.
That came out.
I know it.
That came out today or this morning, actually.
Today. Yeah, I saw it. And listen, bro, I did not take a psych eval before I took this job. Listen, bro, I watched somebody die in that building, bro. And Facebook right now is bigger than the fucking government. No cop talked to me about why somebody died in there. Y'all not hearing me. And everybody's trying to act like people that are making $15. We don't give a fuck about what your politics is, or if you give a fuck about the earth is fucking flat or what the fuck. People are dying. Like on the real, people are dying, bro.
Okay, commenter here, Breakaway Civilization says Cognizant made $250 million from content moderation.
Yeah, exactly. Off my back. Facebook made $1.5 billion in fucking profit last year. Off of my back. Because right now, if people like me did, people that did what I did, quit right now, they don't have to stop.
Okay, so could you describe a typical work day?
Yeah, I'll give you two right now. IPS, Tim, I have watched people, look, imagine that you get the job, you clicking on the fucking shit, and somebody that might be 18 or 17 years old, a little chick, done cut her whole shit, cut her wrist, blood everywhere. I have to fucking sign I have to fucking write shit to Facebook for Facebook to contact the first responders. You're not understanding, bro. You know me, IPS. I'm telling you, bro. They fucking lying to the whole world right now, and they making money off of me. Off of me. I'm fucked up right now. I've had a fucking stroke, I've been diagnosed with PTSD. I gotta take mad tricks. I have to take mad drugs. I almost died. I'm beefing with these companies right now. I still work for them. Just on the real.
Okay, second question. How long did you work there before you started
2 years.
experiencing
2 years. How long did I work there?
before
Like
you
6
start
years.
before you
6
start
months.
before you started experiencing the adverse effects?
Less than 6 months. I had ulcers and shit like that. G shit.
Wow. Okay, well this is big, and obviously the story just came out a few hours ago. So
Yeah, bro. This is what. Listen. I respect you, IPS. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are a trained journalist. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. I came to you with this story a long time ago. I'm telling everybody this shit. IPS a real motherfucker. He did not violate the trust that I had in him. A long time ago, I told him where I worked at. My job stopped letting us to fucking they stopped letting us listen to fucking YouTube. That's a fucking a
I
tool that
remember
we
you
need.
told me that. You told me that you were
Yeah,
listening to our live streams hours at a time, and then they made you
yeah,
stop.
yeah. Bro, listen, bro. And I told you that they were not fucking with you personally. They were looking for Goldie and Tommy Robinson and Alex Jones and Owen and fucking Project Veritas and all them motherfuckers and Antifa and everybody else. Bro, listen, I'm gonna tell you, man. It's not a right or left thing or shit like that. They fucking picked on the lowest people in this community, in this country. People that need to make $1,500 or $16 an hour. We don't give a fuck about nobody. All we want to do is get paid and go home. I'm telling you, I watched somebody die in front of me.
This is all really interesting because originally I had thought that the PTSD was a manufactured issue to justify
No, it's
automating.
not. It is. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I never bought into this shit, bro, about the PTSD shit. I never could understand why, because it wouldn't make sense to me if I just watching shit. Information is not gonna hurt me, but the computers and all this other shit and all this shit that's going on with the job. After you watch somebody die, listen, you're not hearing me.
No,
We
I'm
watch.
listening. Check this out. This is from The Verge. It says here, under the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970, employers are required to provide a workplace free of hazards. But it goes on to say
They did not.
that it
They
says in
did
fact
not.
they use reverse psychology to get workers to blame themselves for mental health struggles.
Exactly, bro. But I never brought none of that shit. And the fucked up thing about Phoenix and in Tampa is everybody's gonna think that they Cognizant is just backing up. But if you go back and you look at the press release that Cognizant dropped about why they are stepping away from it, you'll be shocked, bro. Somebody from Cognizant left Cognizant to become to open up a fucking Cognizant content moderation shit. This is fucked up, bro, because there's no regulations. Listen,
Now, okay.
I
So
watched somebody.
in order to fix this, what kind of regulations would you actually have to implement?
I think. Listen, I'll be real with you, and it's gonna. Listen, I think that Facebook and YouTube and them, they either need to stop what they're doing, or they need to just let people post whatever. No more censorship because it's too much for a human being, and it's not a mental illness thing. They're gonna use that to build up their narrative about human mental illness, but it's neurology, bro. I've
Very
had
interesting. This is
I'm
very interesting.
telling you,
I'm actually very interested in this topic because I want to follow up on it. So I'm
I
curious.
text you it. I text you it. I
Yeah,
text you it on it. I
I
text it to you.
yeah, I know this is actually rather good. So this article is suggesting here that they're forcing them to sign PTSD acknowledgments
Listen,
to
we
avoid.
never had to sign nothing of that. We never had to do any psych evals. They didn't even have. They didn't even ask people if you did drugs. They didn't even do none of that, bro. This is all fucked up right now. Right now, Facebook and Cognizant are bullying me on the real shit, bro. They're bullying me right now. I still work for these motherfuckers. I don't even give a fuck no more. My whole life is fucked up right now. My kid is 20 years old, and I might not live to see my grandson or granddaughter, bro. On the real. Don't nobody know what's going
So
on.
what do you think happens if this gets out and it's fully understood that this is having a severe? What do you talk? I guess what you would call this is
I think that Facebook is either going to have to leave it as an open platform, or I don't know. Listen, I don't know. I don't care about them. I care about my family and my coworkers, bro. We're not crisis actors, bro. On the real, bro, if people could see the tapes of what we saw and shit on the realest shit. And Tim, I love you, bro. I love your platform. I'm not clicking on you, bro. I'm just telling you what people think is what's going on. It's not. It's not. It's not. I don't even give a fuck about the NDA. My whole life is fucked up. I used to be on the radio. I used to fucking roll around the whole country with the biggest artists. My whole life is fucked up.
okay. Another question here then. So someone else asked, how would this compare to being a 9/11 dispatcher? I guess it'd be different because you got video and on.
Nothing at all, because they wouldn't depend nothing at all. Nothing. That interview, that question is nothing, because I watch people try to commit suicide. I've watched people make threats that are credible. I know how to tell if somebody is making a credible threat against a school or church. I know how to do all that. How many other people can say that? I'm telling you that I know more about that fucking Christchurch video. I know more about that video than anybody right now.
This is all very interesting. So second question then.
Go ahead, Tim.
How fast is the turnover? How long do people usually last?
No, they don't last very long at all. They're fucking raping everybody, bro. It's a caste system. Cognizant is a company that comes from India, bro. Y'all not hearing me. It comes from India. So culturally, there's a caste system. So I know, listen, y'all not hearing me. I don't give a fuck. Listen, the day Cognizant and Facebook lets me go, I'm going on the road. I'm gonna fucking expose this shit. Because Trump is paying money with Facebook. Don't nobody give a fuck about us. I will be the only one standing in Texas and in California. The minute they let me go, I'm hitting the road on the real, because it's the biggest fuck. They fucking everybody, bro.
So the thing is, so
They fucking everybody.
the particular job hazard is this: you're in a position where you're essentially visually inspecting and being exposed to
Yeah, I'm the
high
first.
dosages of agitprop, real violence, gore, porn, whatever, for many hours at a time, and you're saying that this has
Yeah.
a bad effect on your neurology.
Yeah, listen, they're not paying me to be a first responder. In Florida, a couple of years ago, Governor Rick Scott filed they passed some sort of protection for more hold on a second. First responders. First responders in Florida are protected, but content moderators aren't. It's like a big gray, it's a big gray spot. Right
Interesting,
now,
interesting,
they're
interesting.
just
Because this is
taking
new. This is new.
and they're opening up a content moderation spot in Orlando. And listen, I'm from Orlando. I'm gonna tell you, if they think these people in Tampa are crazy or in Phoenix, man, these motherfuckers are gonna shoot that place up in Orlando. I'm telling you right now. Right now, it's fucked up. I'm telling you, Tim. Listen, bro. I've been trying to tell you. Right now, and I have a lawyer. That's the only reason why I'm calling right now. Because I want to know why my health is fucked up. My whole life is fucked up, bro. I have to take mad pills every day.
Well, according to this
They're,
article, you're obviously not alone, and the fact that this news is breaking right now, very, very interesting. You should definitely not affect your
I'm,
agreements, but call me or we'll talk after on
No,
offline.
we
And
could talk, bro. 813-414. You know the
yeah,
rest of the number,
I
bro.
gotcha.
We could talk, bro. You know what I'm saying? I break bread with you and all this. The only reason I called tonight was just to let y'all know right now. It's a big fucking con. This red versus blue and fucking left versus right and censorship and all. It's fucked up right now. If everybody that did my job said we're not gonna do it right now, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that shit would be shut down.
Interesting.
We
Okay,
the
I didn't
people, we
realize.
the people,
So the
we the people that y'all need to look out for us. Because at the end of the day, I know what censorship is. See,
awesome.
I
Well,
ain't talk
listen,
about none of that shit.
I think that this is awesome because for one thing, I pretty much derided this topic as just being hyper politicized censors, but this is a whole other angle I
No,
hadn't thought about because this is a new
no.
phenomenon. When in human history have people ever been able to be exposed to this much content in one time, concentrated like that?
I
Appreciate the
think
call,
that
man.
this
Will
shit might be torture, bro. On the real.
wait a minute. Let's continue
There
on
are
this.
people, y'all
Okay,
not hearing me.
hold on a second.
There are people,
I was about to change calls, but what you just said just kind of struck me. You're saying that this might actually be intentional infliction of mental
yes, yes.
duress on
There
employees.
are people that work at Cognizant in Tampa right now, bro, on everything, on my kids. There are people that work in this field. It's unregulated, and there are people right now that work in the military. There are people that work in Guantanamo Bay and shit and all this, and we need to go back and figure out whether or not when you're watching a movie, if it's the same effect as watching the content. If it has the same effect
Okay,
when you're
okay, thank
playing a
you.
video game.
Gotcha. Well, look,
For real.
I got other callers lined up, but that last point, I'm glad you made it. That's a very interesting point right
Facts.
there. So, hey, I appreciate the call. We'll speak offline, and I want
Facts.
to continue and build on this story because it just seemed to get kicked off tonight. So, thanks for the call.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to be so exposed.
It's all good.
Thank you, brother. I'm gonna hang up and listen, but for real, bro, hit me up. Like,
Will
for real,
do. All
this
right.
is different. All right, my boy.
Talk to you soon. Hey, phones open 505-510-4226. We were speaking to somebody who has some direct experience in the field. And, for me, this topic of content moderators is really political. Like, they hire a bunch of liberal church ladies. And that's what I said. It's a bunch of what? Fainting couches? But what he's suggesting is that the moderators are in the unique position of being subjected to concentrated sickness. Think of all the stuff that gets flagged, all the stuff that doesn't belong. And it's just like they're having this downloaded essentially, and it's having an adverse effect. And this is very interesting. And what he brought up at the end was, well, does this correlate to what's going through the mainstream? And I think that this is a valid point. Okay, phones are open 505 510 4226. And also, I mean, look, this is more than just censoring fake news. This may be something else. At the end, he suggested, too, that this could actually represent a form of, what would you call this? What would you call it when, I mean, ideological subversion, intentionally inflicting mental duress? Infinite Plane Radio.
Hey,
Hey,
good, Tim?
yeah, hey, have you been traumatized by the IPS?
Oh, no, no, is this a screening or am I on?
No, I'm just kidding, man. No, you're on.
Oh, right on. Hey, I've been commenting in the chat just for the last couple of minutes. I just got here, and the guy sounded shit-faced, but it sounds like he's really roughed up by all this stuff, and I wanted to apologize directly.
Oh, that's
I'm
cool,
only
man.
up.
It's a Friday night. That's what I figured. But
But
yeah,
okay, no, I'm taken aback too. But no, everybody kind of goes down that road. Maybe not everybody, but like I've heard about it, where they have these trauma sensitive, the what do you call it, content moderators.
yes,
Once you explained it toward the end, I was like, oh yeah, no, I've heard about this. No, anybody who's watched this shit on the internet, like the grunge gore nasty shit, like cartel nonsense, like it induces a sense of fight or flight, like adrenaline rush, heart racing, everything that you would expect from the real experience until you're absolutely numb from it. And then I think that once that numbness is there, you're open to absolutely any form of influence whatsoever. You could be if you didn't have like a solid foundation, good friends, good family, that kind of thing. I mean, if I could be wrong, it
no,
sounds like he needs to
that sounds
turn the
like
TV off.
yeah. Well, he was talking about this thing being neurological, and it does have that effect, it seems. And I found some research suggesting or describing pornography as a neurotoxin.
Huh. Well, I mean, E. Michael Jones, man, he wrote that book about like what the Israelis did to the Palestinians, where like as soon as they got the 67 territory and all that shit, they started blasting pornography over the live broadcast. So like all the TVs, the only TV stations that like the Palestinian people could tune into was porn, and it was used as like a psychological weapon to basically warp the mind and remove their will to fight, kind of thing. I mean, why do you think that porn is free?
Well, that's exactly what this guy was suggesting.
Okay, sorry, like I said, I just came in, man. So, hold on. I'm at a fucking truck stop taking my 34-hour. So.
Oh, that's cool, man. You're at a bus stop.
Dude,
I hear it.
I just found your channel a couple of weeks ago. Is there a different Tim Osman on YouTube?
Yes, there is, and we sometimes speak. We both basically adopted our name off of Bin Laden's code name.
Oh, it's
In
an
order,
alias.
yeah, in order to draw attention to this potential deep state link to the whole 9/11 thing. I mean, that's why I chose it. I'm assuming that's why he chose it. And yeah, we happened to cross paths a few times on here.
Okay, cool. Have you ever been on like the Nathan Oakley deal? His little deal where he just like brutalizes the shit out of people who don't know what the scientific method is?
Yeah, I used to listen to his debates. I called it an orgy of ignorance, but if he can handle it and stomach it, more power to him.
Dude, if you've heard one, you've heard them all. He just says, "You're a fucking dick. Don't you know what the scientific method is?" Jesus Christ, dude. Like, why do people even do that anymore? Like, I wouldn't want to talk to the guy. But hey, I got one thing that I might suggest before I get back on to listen. I've been listening to Marty Leeds 33. I know that there's the whole gematria thing and people don't like it, and I'm not exactly sure where you stand on cosmology and origins, because I've listened a little bit, but I work, so
Right.
just check out his website. I think he's decent. Have you guys interacted, or have you heard of him?
I've heard of him, and the 33 thing. I use the same thing. It triggers church ladies, but I don't think of anything negative about it. To me,
Right.
Jesus died at 33. What's so scary about it?
There's 33 bones in your back, man. Like this guy, he goes through all of it, and it's such a brilliant explanation of how like the controllers or the they or whatever the fuck you want to call them have like taken the goodness and distorted it and made you fear it. and it's part of that control structure is to take things that are good and natural and then distort them. You know, I don't know. He's got a really great website, and like all you got to do, there's a paywall obviously for some stuff, but like there's a lot of free content on there.
Well, I'm all in favor. I'm in favor of paywalls. I tell people all the time, it's the solution to basically kowtowing to YouTube's terms of service. I have a paywall site. Every one of my content creator friends do it eventually, if not that, Patreon. So whatever it takes.
I think his might be more of like a bandwidth issue. If he doesn't, have some things off limits for non-paying subscriptions or whatever, then like he can't support the bandwidth of people watching the content.
That and even if your paywall was $1 like mine is, it's a troll filter.
Oh, right, yeah, God, those people. I wish that. Here's the thing, man. Why? I don't know. I got shit on my entire life. Not, and that sounds like everybody's story, right? But like, my first experience was 5 years old. I had a great family. Like, this is what right and wrong is. Like, there is a right and a wrong way to live, son. Mom, she used to pray with us and blah, blah. Like, we did things as a family. We ate as a family. We never, and like, I got around other people and I was like, oh my God, it's wrong. It's all fucked up. It's all wrong. And that was 5 years old, like kindergarten, man. And I tell people that now, and they're like, dude, you're still bummed out about kindergarten? It's like, no, dude, that's just the first one. So, like, dude, trolls, it's like, just realize that they're out there and move on, and try to find truth wherever you can.
Yeah,
I don't know, that's my best success.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the people who are trolls are the ones who are tearing down people without creating anything. So they're not even valid critics. So I tend to just disregard them. And I find that the people who are creative or who actually call and participate tend to be higher vibration, and they're not really hiding in the dark like roaches. So
but then at the same time, I mean, okay, well, I was going to say, I don't remember what verse in the Bible it is, but I know I've heard it. It's like the fool is quick to mock and also quick to accept a lie or some shit like that. I can't remember when and where I've heard it. I know it's in the Bible somewhere, but it's like the fool is quick to mock and dismiss, and it's probably New Testament. I'm not sure, man. I'm decent at that stuff, but I've only got a few verses that I live by, so we're working on it.
I'm taking a look right now. I'll see if I can find it really quick, and if I pull it up, I'll read it. But
you want to hear my others in the meantime?
Yeah.
Or should I just let you go?
No. What's the other one?
Okay. Well, sorry. My favorite, what kind of kept me in the faith that like there was good in the world was Matthew 7:12. Judge not lest ye be judged. This is the law of the prophets. The next one was Galatians 5:23, the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And then the last one is Ephesians 6:12, which is we battle not against flesh and blood; it's against shit we can't see, basically.
Yeah, I like that one. That statement defines the mind war that we're in and the world stage. And even the whole thing about principalities and the idea of the the powers of the air, whatever, it makes sense. The airwaves, the invisible. And it's all in the mind. The war in heaven, it's like down to the level of the individual and how you're perceiving this thing.
So you got to check out the heaven and earth, just the number game that Marty Leeds lays out. And I mean, where you go from there, I don't know, but like just the idea that there is a centered, there's like a natural order to creation, or like how it came about, and then it's just been perverted. That's all I can say. So.
Interesting. Well, hey, I appreciate the call, and I think you're right. This guy's getting, the last caller was basically describing what may actually be a weaponized toxic culture, and he's suggesting that these mods may even be the targets of it, in as much as probably the rest of us are in society. But it's almost like, they're basically being hit with toxic culture, and I think it's so concentrated that the effects.
Right, but if it, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, that's good. I was just saying.
Well, I mean, but if it is a war that we can't see, if there are, I mean, no, like George Soros. He's not the man, he's the boogeyman. He's the guy that you have the name for. these people, or if there are entities that are supernatural, you can't see them, you don't know who they are, and they are pulling strings. So, like, don't play their game. You kind of open yourself up to it whenever you watch fucking TV and engage in the nonsense. And, dude, I cut my Facebook off like 4 or 5 years ago, and it's great because I see people looking at that blue screen, and they're just just zombified people, man.
Yeah, I regret getting involved in the 2016 election cycle because it was basically the social media being this really toxic place, and I saw it break up friendships. It created divisions even between family members, and I'm looking back like, what was the point of all that?
Dude, basically every topic that you bring up is gonna do that now. 9/11 will do it, but that's old. I mean, I was not there, but I was cognizant. I mean, it was 7th grade, but to age myself, what is it now? She talks about Benghazi to a Hillary supporter. It's like, dude, it's obvious. It's like she wasn't responsible, but she was complicit. And Libya and all the rest of it. It's like any topic that you pick, it's designed to divide you. So just stay away from all of it. Like, get back to, you, yourself, the numbers. Like, what was that line from whenever Neo went to see the Oracle? She says, you know what that sign says? It's Latin. It says, know thyself. And that's the Oracle of Delphi, man. It was like, the secrets of the universe, you have to look within and all that shit. Like, the kingdom of God is at hand. Like, it's within you, not out there in the world. And unfortunately, we have to give to Caesar Caesar's, otherwise they'll take our property. But
yeah, but great point about taking sides. I call it conscientious objection. If we're facing a mind war and you choose not to take sides, we're actually objecting to it conscientiously. So
right, and passively, it's like, well, Martin Luther King. I don't want to, or Gandhi or whatever. So it's passive resistance. It's like, no, I'm just not going to do that. That's a great. What did you call it?
Conscientious objection.
Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, isn't that kind of what? Didn't you see that Hacksaw Ridge movie that Gibson did?
I know which one you're talking about. I'll have to watch it again.
Fantastic. But no, there was a whole thing in World War II about conscientious objectors that were like, well, there's a draft, but we just don't want to kill anybody, so we have to kill people, and like they put them in the stockades, man.
Right, exactly, and that's what they want to do to us. We're not taking the mind war seriously. We're not accepting their toxic sewage culture, and they want to put us into categories, possibly asylums, re-education, or just marginalizing us. But
yeah, but it's good. It's good just to not be afraid of it, because the likelihood of it happening is slim, and even if it does, the worst they can do is kill you, man.
Yeah, and then you die with all your friends. Well, hey, I appreciate the call very much. I have a call.
Oh, take care, dude.
Yep, likewise. Have a nice night.
Nice talking to you, Tim.
All right, phones are open, 505-510-4226. The topic has really been this of YouTube moderators now being forced to sign a statement acknowledging that the job can give them PTSD. The document has them sign a statement saying, we'll take advantage of this program, and I was suggesting that this was just a way for liberal lefties to attack their political opponents and get a big check, and then get a lifelong check claiming something. But I had a moderator whose experience on the job bring it to my attention that no, there is actually a bigger picture here. If you really think about the type of garbage that gets censored, or flagged rather, and then you condense it, you put that into one person's feed and adverse effects, this is kind of like, it's new territory. Infinite Plane Radio. Hey, what's up, caller?
Hey, what's up, man?
What are your thoughts on this idea that the moderators are being zapped?
Well, I didn't catch too much of the show, but I caught the call before the last.
Oh yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. Which one? The one who was
The black guy.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about this for a while, and I've been trying to put things together, and we're kind of, when I see this like trying to like put things together, as in this whole war against the elites or whatever, people above. It's like we often I often catch people like saying that, oh, we have to resist, we have to, like the last caller, like I can't put it the same way he said it, but he said something about a war. What was it exactly? If I'm not mistaken.
Let's see. Well, he was talking about the
I want to put
not
it in
not against
exact context.
not against about Ephesians, about the war being
Yeah,
against not flesh and blood, but against these principalities or whatever.
yeah. All right. It's like we're so late on it. Like, it's like we're ready to, like, whatever we think is gonna happen is something that, like, I feel like it happened a while ago. Like we're like the test subjects of what went bad, and like the other guy was right as in saying that he was he's all fucked up. I think it was he said. I'm sorry, I was doing a lot of things while listening, man. But
No, this is good. No,
I'm
I know
trying to
what you're saying.
paraphrase it.
Yeah, well, he talked
You know,
about some connections between some of the people who were behind Guantanamo Bay, these experts in torture, the ones who brought us waterboarding, and connecting
exactly,
them to
and
this.
that's what I wanted
So he
to
was
get it with
basically
right.
he's been waterboarded with gore and porn and bad stuff like 8 hours a
You ever
day.
see the Princess Bride?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Like the six finger man and the guy controlling the, what do you call him, the six finger man. He's the control of the machine. If I'm not mistaken. That's his label.
I'm thinking, Princess Bride. I'd have to rewatch
Well,
it.
there was a six finger man, and he had the guy in a torture device,
Oh yeah, that's right.
and
That's right.
he would take the years off of you. Well, I think we've been captured, and it's basically like we were on that device, and they already cranked it up to like 100. Remember, he was like, "Oh, you can't crank it up like to 20. Like we don't know what happens after then, something like that." Well, we've been up. We've been up there, and it's like we're the experiment after it happened, and we're basically trying to fix ourselves. And I try to put it together with everything, like as in like the latest history, as in recorded history. Even like Tartaria, and I try to put it all together, like what we know and how things started over. And it seems like we're like an after image of something that fell, and we're just trying to put the
You know,
pieces back together.
I was hanging out with a couple of people the other day who were passing through town, and we were talking about how there's so many movies where the elite are like surrounding this table, and the people are really small on it, and they're controlling that world. Like Clash of the Titans has that, Westworld has that, the Hunger Games has that, where it's a circular desk and the elite are on the outer ring, and the people inside are basically in this arena that they control. And that's kind of what it looks like to me sometimes. Like we're surrounded or something.
Well, and then in movies and everything, like everything makes us believe that it's like it's some kind of money power. Like I don't get, like you know where I'm coming at with it. Like it's like everything we do is based off. I'm talking about everything. Everything is based off music and movies. So we base our like what ifs on like basically what we've watched, especially this generation. The last generation we based it off what they read.
Yeah,
The
I've noticed that. I
imagination, the
noticed that.
poetry.
Yeah,
You know,
there's a big change from the literate to the to just purely visually based, and I find
and,
that to be really. I think that was intentional. This
and culturally
transition.
it's a little different. And especially in the West Side, it's pretty much the same, but only culturally it changes. Like black people are more their emotions and what they think about is more towards music. Not all, some stereotyping, but just you know what I'm
Well, I
talking
get
about.
that. Like what I'm suggesting is that people can read today. Quite, people don't have issues with reading. I think what they have issues with is visual illiteracy. So even though people know
Yes.
what the letters and the words and the sentences mean or whatever, I think they've been rendered visually illiterate on purpose, and I think that's the reason why people fall for these psyops. And also, I don't know if they've
No, no.
rendered
Here's the thing.
society.
They've
What do you,
been rendered. This
what do you
this
call
is.
it? What
I'm
do you
sorry.
call it though? Really quick, what do you call it when people can't read emotions. Because the fact that most people can't tell that it's a damn crisis actor makes me wonder if they've somehow given everybody some sort of mild like autism or something.
No, it's really all right. Now look at the whole upside down world for what it is now. Like this generation, the generation that came before it, they put us into a world where, and this is going to where the last caller was talking about, when they put you emotionally and spiritually somewhere really down, they can easily control you. You know that's where they've been put us, and where the experiment that they experimenting with at that frequency. Like it's like and we don't notice it. We think it's new. We think it's something. It's like it's something that they've been done to us, and this is like the after. Like it's weird.
Well, look, I compare mainstream news and hypermediation to fundamentalist religions. Like, it's kind of crazy that somebody reads a few verses and then they're inspired to strap on a vest or become a martyr or something, over which just art. People dying for art is what it comes down to in theater and basically stories. And I think the mainstream media serves the same purpose, and I do think it's making a great deal of people crazy. And I wonder if that's not the intention. Like most of these shootings have been simulated, but are they trying to create like millions of bowl cuts who are just gonna, flip out someday?
Oh, and then what's the outcome, right? If we read, there's a bunch of books we can read, there's a bunch of religions we can look at, and there's a bunch of theories we've came up with. And what are we living in? Like and I'm not all right, because like I forgot what's this book called? The Elders. There's a Zionist book.
Oh, the
I
pro-
don't I don't
the protocols of the learned elders of Zion. I don't.
and don't get me wrong, right? To me, Zionists aren't Jews. Those are separate.
Wait. Before we go on,
You know,
I have to say,
separate.
I happen to think that this is like, I think that everyone needs to go to Remedial Conspiracy Theory 101. Like that needs to be
Yeah,
updated. I don't think it's the protocols of the learned elders is kind of like a joke. It's part of a satirical
yeah,
book.
but isn't that exactly what's happening though? Is what? Okay, I'm
Well,
not talking about.
no, it's a parody of extremism. It's a satire, though. It's a satire, and you could paint up anybody that way. But it's a satirical piece. I don't really think it's a valid description of geopolitics today. I think the bigger issue is statism, and it's not loyal to one particular tribe. It's basically targeting every single polluter. I mean, this is what the world state's moving to. World communism under the guise of saving the planet has nothing to do with Zionism, if you ask me.
Yeah, but now I see. I'll, now I have to take it back to the way we react to culture, like as in what we watch on TV, what we see on the internet. Like I'm like we're reacting to exactly like the new generation, not exactly the old generation. You know, some of the boomers are well connected with it, but we're reacting to what we see, like K-pop, everything we see on TV. I don't know if you have overseas family, but everything we do on the West in the United States, it trickles down, and some things trickle up from them. Some things trickle up from them. We change it and give it right back to them. You know, but I'm talking about like things that
Wait.
brainwash us.
Oh, wait, are you suggesting that, like, because we're considered by the climate change people to be the principal polluters of the environment and of the world itself? Are we also considered to be polluters in forms of bad or degenerate culture or something that we're exporting?
I think that's more the truth than, of course, it's more the truth than us being the main main
I mean, okay,
contributors of
could it be
pollution.
intentional? Could it be an intentional act on behalf of the oligarchs in order to make
One
everybody,
hundred, one hundred,
because
one hundred percent it is.
because they want
You
everybody to
know,
hate us? I mean, they already have everybody at the UN
it's
hating
not
us.
to hate us, it's to hate themselves. It's to be, they want us, alright, they experiment on on small, like they experiment in Norway, and they experiment in, what's this other country, that's a little worse sexually, what's the other one? That they got the female president?
You know
I
what?
always forget,
I
forget
don't.
that country's name.
I'm
It's
not sure, but go
it's a
on.
Swiss. Is it the Swiss? Is it no? It's the one that they have like gender equality like at a really extreme.
Well, listen, I don't know, but I'm thinking right now. But I look at these people on the world stage. Let's see, there's I think
I know, I know.
somebody in the chat will
Not
fill you in. Someone said New Zealand. No, that's Prime Minister.
New Zealand.
Is it
No,
New
okay, I
Zealand?
think it is a prime minister. I think it is a prime minister. It's New Zealand. Well, New Zealand. Uh, uh, uh. Where are we going with this again?
Well, you started to mention something about gender equality or something, but I think we might have been getting a little off topic. Maybe not. Mainly, we were talking about originally the YouTube moderation thing, and we were talking about, do you think that our culture here is being deliberately, I don't know, made extreme or offensive as a way of furthering America's division from the rest of the world? Because, like I said, we're the main polluters. If the world ends, it's because of what we're doing, and I'm wondering if it's the same kind of thing here.
Okay, when you say that, and I know you are, but do you mean it in the way of being sarcastic purposely, or
No, I'm not being sarcastic. Like, I mean, this is how it's read. If you listen,
how it's seen? Yeah, of course. I'm not saying you're being sarcastic. I'm
I know
saying
what you
in the
mean.
sarcastic way
No,
that it is.
yeah, America is seen as a pariah. I think they say that even though we're 5% of the world's population, we account for 95% of the pollution. And our lifestyle, they say, is going to bring everything down. And that's a huge
Yeah, that's
issue.
what they say. With India, and I get what you're saying. Um, yeah, no, of course it is. I mean, it's the new, it's based. All right, at mainstream TV companies bought out YouTube, and that's what you mostly that's what's monetized. Like Fox 5, CNN, like mainstream TV shows. Their channels are really like they can sell, they can advertise. That means they're on the front page, and it's basically TV all over again. And if you don't follow those kind of guidelines as a streamer, you can't really stream, or you're not monetized. You don't make money, then why
Oh,
make
yeah.
videos?
You're right with
So
with COPPA and everything. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's called MSM Tube now. It's totally done. It's made the switch.
so it's basically TV YouTube is TV, 2.0. It's the same shit, and that's why we're here on D Live.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. I mean, to me, this is we had the beginnings of an attempt at a reformation, and the counter reformation is all but succeeded, and we've been pushed to the fringes. But I'm fine with it. I don't really, at this moment, I feel like at least we're not being censored every day, like on YouTube. And I have YouTube open for the people who are still weaning off of it, but I don't even treat this as a YouTube channel. I don't want to support that ecosystem.
and then, as soon as we start seeing it as a spiritual problem, and you can see whatever sense you want to see, the biblical or whatever you want to believe in, right? But as soon as we start seeing it as a spiritual problem and nothing else, and they're trying to break us away from that, they're trying to tell us science is God, not science is right, and there is no God, no science is God, because you can't, if the reason why I see it that way is because if you take the notion away from God, or there is no God, you negate faith. I mean, that's a real Western way of seeing it. Look where we're at.
Well, I
But
don't know. Like, I'm not a religious person, but I do
no, no,
think, that they
no.
have
What
created a system, like a paradigm, where there is no up and down, and nothing is firm or stable. Everything is relative, and I think that translates down to how we see this. This encourages, I think, nihilism,
but
and
they're also trying to make themselves God, because they can't say God is faith, because then we have no faith. We're zombies, and they don't want us to be zombies. We are the money, like the people who control the money don't use money. So they make money. They don't use money at all. I'm guaranteed I'm pretty sure they don't use money.
oh yeah, the
Top to top.
people who own the amusement parks have no need for the little paper tickets that we go on to have fun.
Exactly. So it's not about that. So it's the inside. It's nothing physical, and they can't. They won't dare to say that there's no God without first convincing us that science is God first. And that's what we have to put base our faith on, because nothing's truth to us. Everything is based on faith today. Gravity is based on faith.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of our
It's a new
hypothesis is
faith.
based on faith.
Yep, you're right about that. It's all a new faith, and I found this video recently. You can look it up. Look up science and Kabbalah, and you'll find a lot of these pop scientists pretty much admitting that science is just a mask over an older religious paradigm.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong, for me, there's nothing wrong with religion, as long as religion is something that's positive, and we can all agree that it's positive.
Sure,
for the most
sure.
part, you know. But but science as a religion just doesn't make sense. Science tries to prove there is no God. At the
Well,
same time, trying to say, but that's the reason why we're so confused. That's why there's a circle and the upside down, and it's because we don't see it spiritually.
I don't like science as religion because the way they've created it, man is a polluter and a problem to be dealt with. It's very misanthropic.
Mm. You know what I see the biggest problem with people that are really like earth love the earth type of like the real earthy people. Like you call them green people.
Yeah, Greenies,
Uh,
Extinction Rebellion, yeah, those types.
yeah, they fail they fail to realize that without human eyes, like there would be nothing to witness the beauty, and I think that's their problem. I think they've been taught to feel things, and they've been taught to they've been over. I don't know what kind of hyperbolization that is, but they've been taught to treat everything else as equals, and it doesn't make sense to me. And I get to love, I get I get what they're saying, but
there's two forms of equality. There's the equality of outcome and equality of opportunity. And equality of opportunity means people rise to their own level, and it's not always equal because some people do better, work harder, or whatever. Equality of opportunity is the idea that we have to be uniform, and that punishes achievers. And that's really the war here.
my whole point is that they lose the thought of like only human eyes can see things for how beautiful they really are, and we can prove it. Nothing else can prove it.
Oh yeah, that's a very good point too. They exclude the like this always bothered me about psychiatry and the DSM and all these books that diagnose mental illnesses. They don't have a good definition of the soul or the idea of a transcendent being that is, piloting the whole thing that you're living in.
You believe in demons?
Demons, I don't know what you would call it, but I did have an encounter with somebody that I got this really negative vibe off of, and I was correct in assessing that this person was very much, we'll just say a perv, but I thought there was something quote demonic because when I had that intuition, I just glanced at the person's calf, and he had a tattoo of a red-eyed dragon, and earlier that day, I had found a little pendant of the archangel, stabbing the dragon on the ground. And so I took that as a synchronicity or a sign that I was involved in a spiritual battle or something. This sounds crazy, but I just took it as a sign that I had seen um, the essence of evil embodied in a person. And it got me thinking that maybe evil's a thing.
Exactly.
Like evil's a thing. I don't know what you want to
An
call it, but
emotion.
an emotion, but
Emotion.
it's definitely something that resides in. Well, this person was a drug addict, and I thought that might have something to do with it, but who knows?
Yeah, you ever see somebody trying to praise God at like one of these leprosy events?
Yeah,
And
yeah, that
tell people that Jesus loves them and nothing else, nothing like nothing negative. Like, well, you see how people react to them, they spit on them, things like that they actually mention in the Bible that people would do to you if you do exactly like what Jesus did. Like as in the sense of what they're doing then and there. Like they're trying to preach to people, tell them Jesus loves them. Well, you see that reaction, that whole anger. I've seen people spit on people. God, fuck you, and those are demons. That reaction, all those reactions are demons, and they really are. I mean, if you were to define it, I mean, when I read the Bible, when I read the Bible, and I don't, they say the demons come from evil, and I feel like the evil is the emotions. Not. Well, you have good emotions and bad emotions, positive and negative, evil and good. And that's
well,
where I
well,
get my concept of evil and good.
well, that day I got the idea. Here was the thing. I got the feeling that day that it was being pointed out to me for a reason, and that like here's what I got. I walked away from this feeling like there's some type of a struggle between light and dark or something, but that there are no angels here to rescue us, and there's no physical demons to fear, but they act through human agents. And I kind of felt like when I became aware of it, I was like, well, I think if you don't take sides, I think the cultural default is evil. And so I think that you're meant to choose. You're meant to choose what's right, because if you just like passively accept evil, or like I had someone today that
Exactly.
said
You know, the,
they said to
the,
me, "Don't stoop down to their level." And I was like,
I'm
"Wait,
glad you got.
if you
I'm
stoop,
glad you brought it.
okay, yeah, because
No,
you know what I'm saying though. Like if you don't um confront it, it wins by default." So
no, I'm glad you said that. Though. David is your conscious in the background. So you fucking do it, fucking yeah. Because the David technically isn't real as in physical. Like it's in your mind. It's in that thought. It's in that anger. You know, it's that's why. For me, it's good to. I always tell people it's good to pray, even if you don't believe in anything. Start praying. You might find something. You know, it might make you feel better. And when you pray, you think twice. Like
well,
it makes you think later. It's like studying. It's like doing
well,
homework.
I've never
Like you
really
think.
put any of this stuff into any kind of overt like religious paradigm, but you know, I've walked away. You know, I've always, you know, I don't think that there's like we're in an amoral universe, and I think our actions matter. I do believe in karmic retribution because I've seen it.
You know, here prayer. Now the same way homework. For me, homework works. When you learn something during the day and you go home, you pick it up.
Wait. Commenter
You know,
says, wait. Breakaway Civilization says, maybe it's important to vote for the lesser of two evils. Nope, absolutely not. That's
you know.
no, you don't vote. That to me, that's where I say, you know, the true somebody who actually has principle will conscientiously object, and they'll say, no, I'm not voting for any evil. The person says, I'll vote for less evil. Well, then what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna that is just such a weak, spineless thing to do.
Exactly. You can't vote. It's the same thing. Voting evil is voting evil. That's how
Exactly.
in the Bible it says that every sin is the same, and that's what it means. It has nothing to do with murder. Is just bad as stealing. It's more the emotion of it. It's like it's all just as bad. It's contributing to the worse, no matter what you
Yeah,
do.
Breakaway Civilization says you have to choose. Yeah, when I say choose, part of the choice is you don't just have to go into the false dialectic black and white. You can opt out. My choice is to opt out. Conscientious objection. That's a choice. You're not making a choice. You're actually being coerced into a false dilemma.
Exactly. And if you're a truthful person, you're always rebuke the evil, or rebuke the lies.
Well, I'm rebuking the voting booth, and I hope that the 107 terrorists listening right now do the same thing. Well, hey, I appreciate the call. I got somebody else trying to get in here. Any other
Yeah,
comments on
man.
the?
No, no, I like calling you, man. I call you every once in a while, man.
Cool. Well, I'm trying to do
Yeah,
this.
man.
I'm trying to keep this happening every Friday and Saturday night, so I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you, man.
All right, see ya. And eventually we'll be last caller. My ringer's back on. Eventually, we'll be doing this nightly. We're just about there, and I have to say it's because of all my Patreons. You know, we have 112 people. We're trying to get to 500. It's a dollar cover charge. It gives you access to our 24/7 think tank. It gives you access to email notifications when we're live and newsletters. And so I'm saying, like, you know, let's do it. A dollar gets you in the door. If I get 500 people, I do this 5 nights a week. Simple. And we're almost there. I mean, not almost. We're 112, but it's only taken us a couple of months. So the last time YouTube kicked me off, I was just like, you know what? Let's no longer depend on YouTube as a functioning business model of any kind, because it can't be. And it's not just because of what I talk about. I mean, I think if you're just not mainstream. On the screen here, this is just something I saw on Float. Looks a little mud floody. If anybody wants to call and talk about that, I am going to be doing some more work on it. And if you missed it, last Sunday we had the hangout on the topic of death fakers and deepfakes. We're going to be premiering that on Sunday. Hey, what's up, caller?
How's it going? Lickety Split here. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. What do you think about the idea that the content moderators are all actually being targeted by?
Oh, I just came in right when he said that, and it's it's a bit of a stretch. You got to make some connections there, but
Well, wait.
I
One
mean,
thing we should point out though is that there has never been a time in human history where you would be able to have curated content that is all beyond the pale. In other words, 8 hours of just pure filth. It's like that Clockwork Orange movie. So I'm wondering, is this a Clockwork Orange situation, and are they just doing it to thousands of people at a time, 24/7, where the rest of us are essentially punishing them, and we don't even feel it? It's like some Milgram experiment. I don't know.
So, so he was saying that they were targeting content creators or moderators. What was it?
Well, if you missed the call, you'll have to go back and listen to it. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you won't have context.
I will not have context. I don't. What was that quote you just had up about the putting the kids in schools and all that?
Well, this was just talking about, the school one. I have a few here. These are all from float.com. If you guys don't know, float.com is probably...
Yeah, I just want the flow. Yeah, I'm on flow right now because DLive's not working for me as far as the screen and the audio, but then the chat works.
Oh, you're
So I
listening.
have to,
You're listening right now on Float.
yeah, I have to be on flow to listen, but then I can still chat if I keep my DLive open. Probably because I use Windows 10 or some shit like that, like Windows Professional, some old ass fucking shit.
That's
But,
interesting.
that's
Okay,
how it-
that's cool. I appreciate you letting me
Yeah.
know. I try to promote Float.app more often. And
Yeah, I'm gonna be. Yeah, keep that going. If you're gonna do DLive, then do float. That way, otherwise I can't really fucking listen. So anyway, but yeah, no, you had some quote up there about something about schools, which triggered me to comment. In loco parentis, that's what that was called. It was the other one about how they're putting. It was just like a paragraph of it's like soon you'll have your kids in school or I don't know, some shit like that.
yeah, I lost it, but I know which one you're talking about.
Okay.
This
Okay,
it came
yeah,
from
yeah.
Float.
It's an actual, like a doctrine of law, actually. It's in loco parentis, and that's pretty much what it is you drop your kids off at school, you're giving it up to the state, and that's just how it is. That's what you're doing. And, the creation of public school kind of made the pathway, carved the pathway for that.
Okay, so you grow up in the public schools, and you become a Stockholm Syndrome, obedient, compliant, tax-paying slave, right? So we know the
Yep.
system works. So then,
Yep, climb up the ladder, climb the grade. Like I have to go through 1 through 5, and then start over again. I got to go through 1 through fucking 10 again now, and then get out and get a job and climb the ranks again, and just fucking recycle the whole thing over and over.
well, so
and
then
over again.
we're talking about indoctrination, and so what we're actually seeing with this cognizant thing, or with content moderation in general, is a form of indoctrination, but it's with materials that are very shocking. What do you think about the PTSD?
Oh, okay, I see.
That's kind of where it's going at, is that these employees
Yeah,
are getting,
yeah.
and they didn't get OSHA. They're signing. Okay, YouTube is making them sign a document saying this job, content moderation, might give me PTSD.
Yeah. Wow. That's kind of like a waiver too, because you're kind of like giving notice. You're putting them on notice that this is what's going to happen. You're kind of like agreeing to it, like, oh, okay, cool.
Well, it's a little too
I don't
little,
care.
too late, and that's kind of what he's pointing out. It's a little too late, and if people had known, maybe some of them would not have. And also, this is new. That's the other point, the guinea pig aspect of it. When in human history have we ever seen this before, in terms of the amount of content that these moderators are going through, parsing through,
Yeah.
and then of course the
Yeah,
effects.
yeah.
And he says it's neurological.
Huh. Yeah, it's a whole new situation that's been created by this whole social media climate. Huh. That's interesting. Another thing. So I went to go try to do a citizen's arrest tonight.
Who did you try to arrest?
Oh, I don't want to get into too many details, but as you might know, I have like an ongoing situation, and it was a person related to that situation. The person used a fake name to get a restraining order, and that's a felony to do that. And so tonight I tried to go do a citizen's arrest. It's there's penal code 847
Wait.
allows for that.
How does a citizen's arrest work? Do you tell them they're being arrested and give them a piece of paper, or do you got to actually restrain them?
That's the two interesting things that I found out tonight. Yeah. So there's the instance where you have to physically go restrain somebody, and it seems like that's usually where you're gonna end up actually using the the citizen's arrest, because otherwise it seems like they don't really appreciate it. Because I was trying to do it the other way, where I'm like, hey, I'm about to go tackle this person. Here's the paperwork. Here's some documents. Here's my statement, my declaration, affidavit of what happened and what this person's guilty of. And I wanted to give it to them, and like, all right, let's go get this person. And that's when they're like, no.
So what do you do though? You hold the person, then you call the cops.
Yeah, you're supposed to immediately, as soon as if you're holding someone down, you got to call them like right away, and tell them to take the person to before a magistrate and proceed. But that's like in the immediate threat type situation. My situation was going to not be an immediate threat, so to speak. But so that was phase 1 of the test. I'm going to try phase
I got a
2
question.
next year.
Let's say I'm walking down the street, and Jonah the scientist tries to citizen arrest me, and I punch him in the throat. What happens?
You need to citizen arrest him instead. So you guys, like, he was coming at me, and I citizen arrest him by punching him in the throat and taking him down. So you got to declare right away. So like anybody else that's around, you have to declare that you're doing this. Like, I'm the one doing the citizen's arrest, motherfucker.
Wait, so it's
like, not you.
it's like the victor writes the history.
Yeah, it's like, you can't fire me because I quit type of thing. Like, no, you're not citizen arresting me. I'm the one that's doing it. Like, you're coming at me, I did this. But it'll come down to witnesses, and it's all about the declaration. So that's what I try to do today, though, in a non-immediate situation, and the cops weren't really too thrilled with that.
Did you record
it's like you're kind of,
Did you record it?
No, I was going to. Next time I will, for sure.
Most people would have recorded it, had a live stream going, and recorded the entire interaction for their own protection. Would you recommend that? And next time you citizens arrest somebody, will you record it?
Yeah, exactly. But I wanted to do the test run first, so I know like how it's going to go next time. You know what I mean? I don't want, because if I just did it this time, well, they would have gotten mad. Like if I would have, like, I'm trying to get these motherfuckers to do something, and then I'm sitting here like with a camera in their face too. They're gonna be like, "Oh, fuck you! Like, we're gonna arrest your bitch ass instead." And that's what I'm happy. They didn't arrest me. Like, I could tell they almost wanted to tonight, but I charmed them a little bit, and they didn't arrest me instead. But no, yeah, I don't want to put the camera in their face until like I know more about the situation. So
I wouldn't live stream it in case something goes wrong. You can destroy the footage, but it's dangerous territory here. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily. Cause I'd be worried about here's something. When Authentic Intent was assaulted, where a guy took his camera and threw it in the water. Apparently, he kind of wrestled with the guy and tried to arrest him. And the thing is, the guy's much older and kind of brittle and frail, so he could have killed the guy or hurt the guy. And so that's what I would be worried about, hurting somebody. Right.
And there's all sorts of other nuances to what you're claiming and all that kind of shit. But yeah, it comes down to, I guess, the politics, like who's going to look better and who's not. And when it's AI versus an older gentleman, I'm pretty sure the older gentleman's going to win out on that one. But yeah. Anyway, other than that, what's up, Mad Mike? The other day I tuned in. I barely missed them. What's going on with that and the rocket launch and all that?
Oh, yeah, that's all going really great. MadMikeHughes.com. If anybody hasn't been there, if you get on his email list, in fact, I think tomorrow you'll be getting an email if you're signed up there. If somebody wants to spam that link. So everything's going swimmingly, absolutely swimmingly.
For the 22nd, right? Yeah, the 22nd or some shit I heard.
I believe that's what I heard. It's going to be a closed set, I believe, which is probably best, because, of course, as you know, it's not a really pleasant place to be out there in the Mojave, and I wouldn't recommend anybody go out there. But his space jump's going to be later this year.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I wanted to try to get in touch with him. I've been working on some shit. I know he's into all that law stuff, self-defense, pro-per, and all that kind of stuff. I put a little packet together. Educational
okay, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I've been working on this issues with copyright strikes not being acknowledged by YouTube, or people violating terms of service on various platforms and complaints not working, um, you can pretty much, I think, send them legal documents, but it's got to be worded in such a way that they can't refuse it. Do you think you could write something to send YouTube's legal that could get videos taken down for bullying by citing their own terms of service?
That's interesting. You should be able to do something with that.
Well,
I
no,
mean,
no,
that's
could
like
you? Could you? I was asking, could you do it?
oh, could I? Yeah, I mean, I like as soon as you're saying that, I know kind of generally like where to look about that because like whenever you're writing a complaint or something against the government, like administrative proceedings, like your best bet is to rely on their own rules and use their own rules against them. So when YouTube just disobeying their own thing, my first inclination would be to go towards discrimination, and so you have to get yourself classified
Well, I wouldn't
in
want
a
to.
certain way.
Oh, I see. Like, well, here's what I did, just as an example. There's a video where somebody had said something to me about, I think it was, it was just one of these ridiculous videos, and I said, hey, look, they attacked me for being this, and these are protected statuses, and I claim to be things that I'm not, just to see if they would take it down. And it didn't actually work, and it kind of surprised me. I was like, I thought I was in a protected group. So I just need a more convincing, legalese type letter. I thought you could pull it off, but it's all good. I don't need to pass it
Yeah,
on to you.
no, yeah, no. We'll have to talk. Yeah, we'll talk more about it. But I mean, like, it's such a. I don't know, man. That's why I really dig this law shit, is because there's so many.
And I hate it.
I don't know
I'll
how
be
to
honest
put
with
it.
you.
Like,
I had to get 2 months of refunds from Legal Shield. They were worthless. I don't like the
oh yeah.
process. I prefer never to set foot in a courtroom again. The last few times I've interacted with them, I've used a fax machine. But
No, for sure. Okay, you're talking about like procedure and process versus like I'm talking about just like the mental, like the mental aspect of it is, it's a multidimensional thinking and
what do you think
all this
about
kind of stuff.
what about dueling? Would you bring back dueling if we could?
Absolutely, 100%.
And would it be done with
This
guns
would be
or
like
swords or guns?
guns. Absolutely, totally guns. Because you can also miss when you're doing it with guns, and then that's your own fault. I would definitely bring that back, and this world would be a whole different place.
It depends on
was
what kind of
brought
guns you're
back.
using too, because if it's like one shot, one kill,
Oh yeah, like
but
pirate gun. Yeah,
like
for sure. Like
I
ball
imagine,
bearing.
like I know people who've been shot 3 or 4 or 5 times before they fall, and so you could probably take a hit and just, really, I don't know, I don't know.
Yeah. Or like throwing knives or something like that, for sure.
Probably not lethal
Uh,
enough. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Okay, somebody here says Washington has a consensual combat law. Interesting.
huh. I'm gonna probably Google that right after this call. But anyway, okay. So I just wanted to bring all that shit up. I guess we'll talk more about the legal stuff. I'm always down to
Yeah,
talk
thank
about
you.
that shit.
I'm trying to come up with a strategy that I can sell later. So yeah, hit me up. I'll talk to you
Yeah,
later. Thank you very
and
much.
people have people, yeah, in local parentis as far as the kid thing. Fucking commies.
Okay, sure. All right, thank you very much. Phones are open 505-510-4226. We were talking about a few things. Here's something I wanted to bring up. It's kind of a dismal prediction here, and I hate to make predictions like this, but Beaver has come out and he said that God was helping him through a dark time. He said, quote, "There's a power in weakness," his voice quivering, and this is from Variety. It says the singer's multi-part YouTube documentary premieres on January 27th. So if you remember, the 27 Club isn't only people who die at 27, but it often relates to people, or it's often like referenced before they die. Like Lisa Left Eye Lopez did a documentary that took 27 days and covered the last 27 days of her life. So I'm looking here, and it premieres on January 27th. And he said into the mic in front of a live audience, this is Justin Bieber, he said, "I've got to get it together. I'm going to go shoot myself." So it's a quote joke, but it just looks like a little bit of meta scripting combined with the 27. And a number of people had predicted that there would be something with this. So I wanted to put that out there. And of course, should it happen, it's as fake as Cobain's or Jim Morrison's or any of the others. We're just predicting fake celebrity deaths. Thanks for the dank memeage. This one comes from, man, I don't know where. This came from Timbuktu. I've been going there a lot lately, and I've just been bookmarking stuff, so I generally don't know what I'm even opening. MVP says Beaver's definitely gonna fake die. Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think it'll qualify. I think right now they've scripted it to be a 27 club type exit. It's not gonna be anything dramatic. More than likely, I imagine it'll be drugs or drug related. If you look at your Google search right now, check this out. Year of the Rat, as Elon Musk knows. Hey, what's up, caller? You familiar with
What's
Mousegate?
going on? Go ahead, my bad, bro.
Oh, are you familiar with Mousegate?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Mousegate. This short face bear, man. I watch you all the time.
Oh, right on.
I just wanna go back on what that last caller was talking about. I think his name was Lickety or whatever. I just want to let everybody know that's listening to this. Don't listen to that man. That'll get you severely fucked up out here in these streets. You hear me? Don't go around trying to citizens arrest nobody. Don't do none of that. That'll get you hurt, man. Unless you know where you at, unless you in Brownsville, Idaho, in the middle of a lily white neighborhood with, you know what I'm saying, with fences around, that'll get you fucked off. For real, for real. So don't go around trying to be RoboCop. You can't save the world, man. You know what I'm saying?
You may be right about that. I would be worried about somebody doing something like, and they would do this, like the types of people that you get into litigation with. People will play dead. They'll fall on the ground. They'll inflate it. They will. I mean, it's just too volatile. I wouldn't. I wouldn't get involved with anything approaching violence.
I mean, I'm not saying don't do anything approaching violence. I'm not saying be bitch made, but at the same time, you're not Batman.
Right. Well, I'm
I
talking
don't care how
yeah,
much.
but that's the difference. Is that he's talking about actually going out and instigating versus self-defense, where you can pretty much, you know what I mean. So yeah,
Right,
I know exactly what you mean. That vigilante Batman thing could probably get you killed or something.
right, right. Especially in the areas that I've grown up in, get you hurt bad, bro. So don't try the Batman thing, man. And if I could go back to the subject we was talking about earlier, about how people are getting PTSD from moderating, that's some of the most bitch made shit I've ever heard, bro. Like, ever in my life. I done had to pull people up from getting shot in the face. Like, that's PTSD. That's trauma. You know what I'm saying? If anything on the internet bothers you, not only is you bitch made, but you need to get off the internet. And you need to go outside, do some push-ups, go roll in the grass down a hill or something. You know what I'm saying? That's where a lot of these problems come from with a lot of these folks. They stay in the house. The anonymity of the internet and staying in the house causes people to be bitch made and get in their feelings. And they become feminized. And when men become feminized, they become snarky. They become passive aggressive. They start to do little bitch made shit that is really not called for. You know what I'm saying? And that's why.
Yeah, the keyboard. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The keyboard warriors who are completely disconnected from reality, and the things that they say on the internet they wouldn't say to your face, and so they're totally
Exactly.
fake. And yeah, I don't have respect for that level of fakery.
Exactly. And see, that's why I fuck with you. That's why I fuck with Owen Benjamin. Even though he faced some racist shit sometimes, he not a bitch. Like, he not bitch made. You're not bitch made. Like, you real. You real with the shit you say, and you back the shit you say up. Like when you was talking about Morguile earlier today, you
Oh,
had me dying laughing, man, because you was talking about doxing you. He was like, okay, you can know my name, you could dox me, bring it to my front door, and I'll show you my gun collection. I was like, God damn it,
yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? That
yeah,
made me want to shake your motherfucking hand, bro.
yeah, and I really mean that too. And they never have taken me up on it. It's like they have my docs and they've done nothing. So then what does it actually mean? You know, it's a,
Exactly. And I know Morgal was watching. That's why I kept saying it in the chat, like, Morgal, call in. I know you're watching. I know you're watching. Go ahead and call in, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop hiding behind the anonymity of your screen. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Actually put yourself out there.
If I could find his number, I would call him right now. There's no reason he can't call me. I saw him in Denver. I walked up to him and shook his hand, and we talked for a few seconds. So I thought he was over this passive aggressive, as you're describing, type stuff where he uploaded a 4-hour hit piece on me. And I'm like, I'm right here. And you're going to,
Right.
and I'm like, man, he's got 30,000 subs. So somebody's going to call me out to 30,000 people. I have to respond.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a man would do. That's what you're supposed to do as a man. If you don't defend your own honor, who will do it? You know what I'm saying? If I'm not for myself, who will be? If I'm only for myself, who am I? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, excellent points, and you're right about that. Especially now on the internet, where the last word pretty much stands, and I'm not going to let some glue sniffer like Morgile be the last word on my reputation.
Exactly. And then, to be honest, fuck what Morgile says. You know what I'm saying? It's just words. Like you said, if he got a problem, he got your information. He know where you live. I'm not trying to start no beef or nothing like that. I'm just saying, be real about it. Like, I get all kinds of snarky, passive-aggressive bullshit in chats because I made my name a bear name. It's a fucking screen name. That shit don't bother. Like, that shit really don't bother me. I be in there laughing. I be hella laughing.
Man, we were laughing when we hear Morgile crying about our penguin mascot. Like, we know they get triggered by a damn cartoon, so that's why we did it.
Yeah, you offended by a cartoon. Like, what's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you? Morgile's a whole grown-ass man offended by cartoons, man. But that's all I really had, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you get back to the gravy, man.
Appreciate your call, and thanks for expressing your thoughts on the matters. Have a great night.
All love, brother.
See ya. Okay, that's a second opinion on the phenomenon of moderators, but this is unexplored territory. It really is, and we're gonna see what comes to the surface. And this idea of arresting people, it's your life. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know what I'm capable of, but I'd rather outsource stuff just for convenience. I don't like to get my hands dirty. But it's a big difference, though, between going out and seeking trouble. Like that one guy, Zimmerman, from the Trayvon Martin shooting. Infinite Plane Radio.
Hey, what's going on, IPS?
Hey,
this is where it's at.
Hey, what's up?
And what's that? The black bear? Dude, the last call.
Yeah.
Just before me.
Yeah, the last one who called in. Yeah. What about him?
Oh, yeah. Tell him that he can have my phone number. We can meet up anywhere in the whole country. For real. Because what he just said was he didn't talk about a bunch of people. He talked about me. And I'm black. Listen, bro. I'm going to tell you something, bro. My mom and my dad from Haiti, bro. I'm from nothing, bro. I will fuck you up. I don't give a fuck about this Owen Bear shit and all this shit you talking about. You just called me out. Bro, you can get my phone number from IPS, bro.
Well, look, wait.
I will see you.
Look, if you want to talk to him, I'll put you guys in touch, but I thought...
we could do that.
But I do want to point out, he was speaking generally about people, as I was at the very beginning of the call, where I was very dismissive of this. I don't think he was...
He called me out. And I'm going to call him out. Because he's sucking Owen Benjamin's fucking dick. Racist dick. He's a black sellout. He's an agent, bro. You an agent, bro. I don't give a fuck about you. I'll put this is where it's at behind my name. I don't have to put Bear or CNN or Fox or nothing like that. Pussy nigga. Nigga, come see about me, bro. For real. This is my life, for real. Listen, bro. Listen. On the real, what he just did is low and agency as fuck. He's an agent, bro. A black nationalist. Pussy nigga. Holler at me in the streets, bro. Fuck with me, bitch. Call back, nigga. And IPS, I love you, and I hate to take this, but this is my life, for real. And I hate to drag your platform through this, but I will fuck him up on everything. And Lickety Split. Fucking agents, bro. Agents. They all agents. Come to Tampa, Florida, but nigga. Come to Brooklyn, New York, nigga. Come, holler at me, bro, for real. And I will listen to you politely, bro, and I won't say nothing, and I will listen to you, and I will tell you that you are a bunch of fucking bitch ass,
Well, look,
police ass.
there's a difference between there is a huge difference though between being wrong and being a cop or an agent. But if you guys want to have that talk, by all means, and since this is an issue you have specific knowledge about, maybe maybe you two could actually have that talk.
No, we could do more than that, bro. I'm about this life, for real, bro. My mom and my dad from the fucking slums of Haiti, bro. Fuck with me, bro. About integrity and the fucking truth. This true shit. Y'all some pussy ass fucking agents, bro. You're an agent, bro. I just listened to you. You're a black man and you slandered me as you a fucking agent, bitch. You and Lickety Split, bitch. I'm in Tampa, Florida. Fuck with me, bro. On the real. Brooklyn, New York, bro. Haitian, nigga. Haitian. Haiti. I'm from nothing, bitch. Fuck you. And I love you, but these niggas are agents, and this is white national shit. I'm black as fuck. I don't fuck with this damn shit. This Asian shit, bro. Fuck with me, bro. Fuck with me. I will fight Facebook right now. I will take this, what I'm going through, I will take that shit to the FBI. I will take it to the fucking Kavanaugh and all them. Trump and all that shit. Because I know what I went through. Pussy. For real. Holla at me. 813-414-3229. Holla at me. Let's get popping. For real.
Put it in the chat if you like, and definitely I would field a conference call, but those are generally unproductive. But definitely appreciate you calling back to make your points, and I'm pretty sure you got them across.
Yeah. I don't play about this, for real. I will take this shit. This is gonna be one of the biggest stories, and within 10 days, it's gonna be one of the biggest stories. And I don't give a fuck. Lickety Split. Fuck you. And whoever this black bear, fuck you. I'm gonna stay in this shit. I'll put my own money on this shit. Y'all ain't shit. Fucking agents, bro. Y'all liars, bro. Liars. Agents. I've been living this shit.
Hey, look, this is all really. I want to talk to you later more about Cognizant. I want to write an article on the topic, not doxing or naming anything, but
no.
I want to get ahead of this story.
Right now, I don't care about no more. I will go on the record. I work right there. Right now, I still work for them. I'll go on the record. And I got a badass lawyer. So, pussy black bear, Lickety Split, suck my dick. You a fucking agent, nigga. I'm all fucking shit on you right now in my phone. Pussy nigga. Holla at me, bro.
All right, hey, and really quick, Happy New Year. It's midnight. Just recognize it. It's passed on to Year of the Rat. So anything that you have planned for 2020, what are your plans? This is where it's at for the rest of the year. Anything that you foresee happening? What's going to happen to these big media giants when this comes out?
Yo, what's going to happen is that Facebook, YouTube, and all them right now, they're going to have to shut this whole shit down. If they need content moderators, that's just going to be shut down within 10, 15 days. On February 29th, Cognizant in Phoenix and in Tampa, 5% on 5 p.m. And on February 29th, 5 p.m. Eastern and on the West Coast, both places are going to close. So they're fucked up. I still work there. and I have been asking them, and I've been escalating everything. Listen, I'm a fucking auto hoaxer. That's a fucking content moderator.
So wait, you're saying
That's
February
an oxymoron.
29th. So February 29th, these locations are closing, and what then?
Yeah,
That terminates your job?
yeah, yeah, bro. I'm getting laid off on February 29th. I have to take mad pills. I've been fucked up since June, bro. I called all y'all niggas through this whole shit. I've been telling y'all.
I remember when you first called, you first brought this up. So it's been since then.
Yeah. Listen, I will text you. I will send you a picture of my fucking awards from this job. I'm good at what I do. That's how I know what the fuck happened in New Zealand was a fucking hoax, bro. I know all that shit. I get paid to analyze videos. And everybody's trying to act like I give a fuck about the right and the left. Nigga, I fucking lean to the
Look,
right.
we'll talk.
I like guns.
Hey, we'll talk again very soon. I've got a caller coming in. Thanks for the call again, and thanks for clarifying your points. Hey, what's up, caller? Oh, sorry, dropped it. Go ahead and redial. This is where it's at. We had some back and forth. They had to reiterate their points. Hit one more time. I'll pick up on the next ring. Yeah, we're in Year of the Rat, so Happy New Year to you wherever you are for 2020. Where we are at, it's basically, I think, more or less the reason why the mouse popped up on the SpaceX rocket. Short-faced bear, the left-right thing was, I was suggesting, and I have been for a while, that the moderators were feigning, or that it was more or less a psyop to justify censorship for public health reasons. Hey, what's up, caller?
Hello, this is Officer Lickety Split here.
Agent Split. Okay,
Yeah.
so what we're suggesting then is, well, actually, what were you calling on? Did you have a response?
Oh, just really quick. Yeah, of course, I had to rebut the short-faced, whitewashed bear. He was talking about bitch this and bitch that, but then he wants to kowtow and bootlick to some cops, like only cops can go and arrest. Oh, and how he's he's so hard and he's from the ghetto and all this stuff, but here he is on the D-Live chat on a Friday night. Yeah. Anyway,
Wait. He was suggesting that in his neighborhood it would get you killed. Hey, really quick, listen to this comment by Breakaway Citizen. He said, "Content moderation is just part of the national security state we created." Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with that statement.
Well, I mean, and that's what's being described too with what the bear is doing. That's exactly that. He was, he had this construct of this is bitch that and this is some bitch shit. But then if you want to go try to enforce the law on your own behalf, then something's wrong with that for some reason. I don't understand.
Well, no, he was just concerned for your safety, because if you did it in the wrong neighborhood, you could get yourself shot. But in your hood, I mean, do you not think that there's any? I mean, it depends on who you're arresting, right? I mean, obviously, you wouldn't make an arrest over somebody who.
Well, yeah, you're not doing it for stupid bullshit. You're doing it because it's your fucking right? We're not commies. We have our private rights. If someone's taking your property.
No, I got a question. Okay, so what justifies a citizen's arrest? I mean, does that, like, for example,
okay, that could be a felony or a misdemeanor.
Okay, misdemeanor. So let's say I were to, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something within, like, let's say I slashed your tires on your car, damage to property. Could you arrest me?
You would have to be in person seeing the misdemeanor happen. But then a felony is a different story. But the misdemeanor, you have to be in person to do it. And listen, before we had cops, it was called a watchman. I fucking read history like a motherfucker and research this shit. It was a night watchman. It was a watchman. I wasn't a fucking cop station. This little pussy fucking bear talking about, oh, the police, go to the police only. That's some bitch shit right there, I'll tell you what. But yeah, go read some fucking history and you'll see it was called the Watchman. It wasn't a fucking public organization, bunch of frat little pussies doing it. Fucking little bitch ass. Anyway, and I don't know what the hell this is where that's even talking about, but I think we know what the problem is there, so I won't even get into that.
He called you an agent and a cop. I wasn't following the chat.
I,
Is that the wait? No, wait. You can't tell me. Is that the first time you've been called an agent and or a cop?
oh no, not at all, not at all. And I mean, you probably go through the same thing. So if you're not being called that, you're not doing the right thing. But I'm doing my own thing. I wasn't trying to push it. Did I ever say, "Hey, everyone, go out and fucking do it"? No, I didn't say that. Maybe if I said that, then you could maybe be like, "Oh, that's kind of suspicious." But no, I do my thing and I tell you about it. I report back and I tell you about what I'm doing. That's it. That's what I do. I investigate. That's it. But I don't know. You got a bunch of little fucking brown nosers in the chat just talking a bunch of shit, dude. But
Oh, they're just expressing
anyway.
themselves. It's a Friday night.
Yeah, I understand. Their little their pussies are all fucking hurt and bleeding and shit.
All right, wait,
But
listen.
anyway.
This is D Live. This is D Live, and look,
Yeah.
D Live's a little more family friendly, so we are going to have to watch some of that type of comments.
Right.
But
Sorry.
you could just
I
use
apologize.
just substitute words. No big deal.
Okay. Their kitties are red. So anyway, all right. Other than that, that's why I wanted to just. I don't need to like defend my name or anything like that. Like I really don't care, but I like to point out the stupidity of fucking people in general, especially if it's a bear that no one fucking knows. What a jackass. Anyway, all right, that's all, dude. Oh yeah, and also I think like someone keeps muting me. You got somebody in there with the wrench that's just.
As far as I know, wrenches are few and far between. I'm still navigating the D Live system, but right now
Okay.
I'm monitoring float. So hey, thanks for your call.
I
See ya.
understand. Yeah. Talk to you later.
Yeah, if somebody out there has a wrench and they're muting people, stop it. And if somebody knows what's going on, snitch, please. Yeah, this is a quote by H.L. Mencken. The majority of men prefer delusion to truth. It soothes, it's easy to grasp, and it fits more snugly than the truth into a universe of false appearances, of complex and irrational phenomena defectively grasped. Why would you even write that? Because the people it pertains to wouldn't get it. It's a little too, I think it's too verbose for today's Tide Potters. But he's got a good point here. And it is true. I think more succinctly put, it is easier to fool a man than convince him he's been fooled, and that would be Mark Twain. I said here, this is an old meme, but I think it's a great one. I'll put a link to it. You guys can share it. The space program's greatest accomplishment has been the success they've had in selling us forced labor and gulag life as progress. All right, phones are still open. 505-510-4226. Somebody gave me a warning here. They said watch your language on DLive. Is that true? I don't think it's the same as with YouTube where you have these real-time sensors, but I want to not necessarily keep it clean, but you'll notice the chat has been, I did moderate the words in the chat, but if you need to say something, like let's say you really need to say, F this person, just double up one of the letters, because I only blocked out like FUCKYOU, but if you put FFUCKK, it gets through, and people read it right. Yeah, the new Space Force logo is Star Trek, and I pointed that out on my documentary Cult of the Obelisk, how they've been merging sci-fi and reality this whole time. And yeah, I actually have that article. And a few other things I should probably bring up. Now this is a good one. I started out with this tonight. So this is Tales
from the Rabbit Hole.
From the Rabbit Hole by Mick West. Okay, and that's the title of his book. And here's what I wanted to start you off with. So he's talking to Mike Santangelo, who's a 9/11 truther, and he's trying to correct him on everything. And what he started off with here is this, and I found this to be so strange because we're super irreverent here. We're laughing at psyops, we're mocking crisis actors because we know what it is. We are constantly just lambasting the bad performances, keeping up with the crisis actors, you know the rest. So listen to this. The people who believe these things to be real, it's still a big deal to them. And listen.
The 9/11 wars, both Americans and non-Americans.
Okay, so this is where Mike Santangelo decides before they can talk about 9/11, they've got to have a moment of silence, which just kind of struck me as odd. You know, it's like
You wanted to do.
if we were going to have talk about Las Vegas or Parkland or any of these other events, you know, we're not going to have a moment of silence for David Hogg, for example. But that's what we have here. Take a listen.
These discussions. And that includes all the people killed that day. It includes the even more people that have died from breathing in the dust at Ground Zero. And it includes all the people killed in the 9/11 wars, both Americans and non-Americans.
They bow their heads for a moment of silence. Anyway, I just brought this up because it was a little bit of a culture shock for me. Because the people I'm around aren't really believing any of this stuff. Like, we've really just kind of dispensed with it. So now I still see people here treating it like it's real and everything else. And anyway, here's something else that's fake for you. This is a video that shows somebody catching the Chinese snake virus or coronavirus. This is so fake. So you have a camera focused on the guy. He falls on his face, and then the crew comes out and cleans him up. And it's like, well, who sits there, you know, videotaping just some random guy? And when he collapses on the sidewalk, you can tell it's an act. One moment here, letting the browser catch up. Here we go. And this was posted about 24 hours ago. And one more thing, 33 million people have been quarantined. That's pretty hoaxy right there. 33 million, like 33 states where people caught vape AIDS. Just another fake scare. And there's a number of reasons why they're doing this, if you ask me. But watch this crisis actor. He's just trying to get off of work. Boom. You see that he pitched forward. Let's watch that again. It's like that scene on the moon landing where the guy falls on the moon on his face. Okay, so he trips over nothing and he falls on his face. Now here's where it gets weird. Because this is supposed to be live. Okay, now we're watching people react to it. It gets even worse. So now you have these people not wearing masks, and then you have people in their full body covers, and a bunch of fake blood underneath his face. This guy's got a clipboard with papers on it because they're doing a drill. This is a drill, and this guy's not protected. Uh-oh. He's got the coronavirus. Bring out the gurney. This is so bad. And look, I think it's so bad because this is in China, and I think I don't know, maybe it's just that they can't criticize their media or their news as heavily as we do. I'm not sure, but how do they believe this shit? This is phonier than their moon landing. This is just like a movie. And then at the same time, you got a movie called Pandemic hitting Netflix. And you don't need to know anything else. If you're watching the nightly news on Netflix, then you know it's just propaganda. This is propaganda. They don't know what they're doing. It's a bunch of clowns in costumes. Like, I saw this one here. These people lying on the ground. It's almost like that one, what they call it, platforming or something. It's like a new internet trend, like the new Tide Pod. You just fall on the ground. This is fake. This is so super fake. And we're supposed to make this correlation between these crisis actors and this mysterious disease. Yeah, they called in the stormtroopers. That one body did look like the same rubber doll they used for Cappy and for Nipsey. I think they recycle not just crisis actors, but I think they actually recycle the silicone rubber dolls that they use. Biochemical troops. Just another excuse for a police state. And one of the subtexts that's coming out, check this out. Universal vaccines. That's the agenda here. Problem, reaction, solution. Oh, got a problem. We can't keep our borders completely closed. We can't quarantine everybody. And you got some people who listen to so much misinformation that they're not getting their vaccines. So we need universal vaccines. Again, it's all fake. It's all just designed to get you to come out and vote and make you think you need big government. But look at these stormtroopers ready to fight the virus. Feel much safer now with these guys. They have their AR-15s. You got to fight the virus. Wouldn't want to give them, like, I don't know, bottles of like water with super tropical bleach, maybe some Pine Sol, maybe some masks to hand out. No, give them AR-15s because they're going to shoot the coronavirus. Unless that means that they're going to shoot the infected. Do we have penguin style plague masks at infiniteplainsociety.com? You know, I know we used to stock those. Let me check really quick. I get them from Alibaba. From China, in fact. So hopefully these things aren't contaminated with this coronavirus. I called it out as a hoax. And, you know, here's another correlation. So I think that the reason why this thing would have originated in China is also probably significant to the election and China's its role right now geopolitically. So I was looking into it, and it turns out the swine flu virus came from Mexico. Hey, what's up, caller?
Hey, this is Eyebrows Bear from chat. I'm just trying to get in.
Oh, what's up, Eyebrow Bear?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Just looking at this virus hoax thing, and then we're talking, of course, again about the PTSD caused by moderating videos. What are your thoughts on that?
Hey, this is Eyebrows Bear from chat. You know, I just think people kind of forget, like, the average level of health in China, you know? Like, everybody's wearing masks over there already, and their diets are so poor. And, you know, of course people are getting sick. They've been getting sick for decades in China.
Right. But here's the thing. Like, I'm not disputing that people are getting sick, but what I'm wondering is, are they creating a drama about it that's more or less just Netflix on steroids?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the same thing they do like every year. It's just nonsense. I mean, it's, you know, I keep making this joke in chat over and over again in the bear chat. Shout out to Shortface Bear, by the way, crushing earlier. But yeah, they keep making this same thing. It's like the swine, bird, man, bear, pig flu virus. It's like just the same thing over and over and over again. And people have such short memories. They just seem to forget that it's the same thing every year.
Well, exactly. In fact, there's an article I pulled up where it talked about how the swine flu originated in Mexico. And so I thought that was just some hype thing because at that time they were talking about border insecurity in the South, and that was a major issue for the 2016 election. So I thought, how convenient that this year's virus that we're supposed to fear is coming from China instead of Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. And then that provides the ability to, you know, sway the right into big government, where they can, you know, they can go, oh, okay, well, we need more military, we need to close our borders. Basically just another side of the government that they can inflate.
Yep, you nailed it. Exactly. And you're right. They're just recycling these same stories. It's a program.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, if you've ever, I don't know if you've been abroad or anything, but in a lot of these South Asian countries especially, their diets are so poor that people regularly and are this year dying of the flu. I mean, there's been 50 times as many cases of people dying from the flu this year than any other virus, including the swine flu, man, bear, pig, whatever the fuck or excuse me, sorry, I know we're on DLive, whatever the hell they're calling it here. And it's just fear porn. It's just straight up fear porn.
Great. I think that's the right attitude because I think also, and whether or not this stuff's causing people PTSD en masse, I think constantly being exposed to the fear porn is a very toxic influence in our lives that we can do without. And it makes you dependent on big government solution because they make you fear things that you can't solve on your own.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you know, when you're hopeless, and I've lived in Baltimore. I worked at Johns Hopkins actually, and I managed a medical research database for 3 years, in fact. You know, and those are the highest levels of despair in the country, in those inner cities. And those people are so easy to control. They don't, and again, I earlier, it made me sick to hear this moron in chat basically attack Shortface for being a Uncle Tom and a sellout and all that. That is the worst kind of racist vitriol you can even imagine. And it's part of the reason why you have such divisiveness in these so-called groups. But in the inner cities in Baltimore, the black populations there are so full of despair that they are easy to control. It has nothing to do with IQ or any of that kind of thing. They are so full of despair, and they're so malnourished. They're so devoid of any kind of contact with nature.
Diet. Really quick here. You bring up diet. What are your thoughts on this vegan thing? Veganism itself. Do you think that this is a form of? It's like a technocrat joke to make people easier to control?
Okay.
Or do you think it's an actual issue that we should be confronting?
So again, in the realm of research, the only people that can really get away healthily, even short term, with a vegan diet are very fit females, okay? Because grown men over 200 pounds, as everybody in the chat knows, need meat. You will get sick and you will die if you don't eat meat, okay? Your testosterone levels plummet. It is absolute nonsense to be on a vegan diet for any extended period of time, especially for a man. And a lot of people experience what's called the vegan honeymoon, which is like, oh, I feel better for a week or two, because I'm not eating a ton of meat, which is also can be bad for you. But it's another just nonsensical thing. It's just another thing that they're trying to get people to throw money at.
Right. Okay. Interesting that you bring that up. That's kind of what I was leaning towards with the vegan thing, because I get callers who bring it in like it's another issue that's not really connected to what I'm talking about. And every time I hear it, it's coming from the same side of the political spectrum that's all about big government, sustainability. You have all the liberal activists saying, hey, stop dairy because if you consume dairy, apparently you're causing Australia to burn. And I'm like, that's got to be fake science. It's got to be based on...
It's absolute nonsense. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so now with regards to this idea of people getting PTSD from moderating content all day, what do you think about the potential adverse effects of people being exposed to nonstop pornography, violent imagery, and other flaggable stuff?
Well, first of all, with porn, I mean, again, we've all been there. Like, if you say you've never looked at porn, you're a liar.
But we're specifically talking like stuff that's bannable, specifically, I think is what he's
referring to. Well, I mean, I don't know. I really don't have much of a stance on that. My whole thing is just, I'm married, and I just avoid it. I don't mess with it. But can you repeat the question again? You said a couple of other things alongside porn.
Yeah, well, it's the content moderators. I mean, like, so people who for 8 hours a day are moderating content where they're actually having to parse through, X-rated content, gory content, suicidal threats. So, do you think that kind of being inundated with the underbelly of our culture, do you think that could have a psychological effect equivalent to PTSD?
I mean, I guess absolutely. I mean, it's a completely unnatural job to begin with, and in my opinion, I know I know people have to make a living, but that's a ridiculous job that shouldn't even exist. That's completely. I mean, you either have a platform where people are looking for that type of thing, or you don't. There shouldn't be any. Again, that's like part of DLive. We can kind of say what we want here as long as we're reasonable. But yeah, it just seems like another nonsense job to me. So I would say find a better job if that's an issue you're having with that form of work.
Right. Well, great point about it being unnatural. I mean, many people have pointed out that it's unnatural for any one individual to have more than like 150 friends. So the idea that you could have 5,000 friends or unlimited friends on the internet, it's unnatural, it's unrealistic.
Right. Yeah.
And then, of course, the meaning of the word friend and the interaction, all that, of course, being hyper-mediated, that all changes. And now it's all being curated, where they're actually farming people according to their level of political correctness. And that's why I think that, in a way, it's helping, because DLive seems to be a filter. Like, we do get a lot of great minds in these DLive chats that I've been into.
Yeah, I just joined the other day. I have a little bit of time off of work right now. And my wife has been working nights, and I've just been up, hanging out in different chats and stuff. And I'm finding a lot of different, really cool people on DLive. It's actually really refreshing, as opposed to just, I don't game or do any of that kind of thing. So it's definitely a good venue.
Now, what do you think about this Donald Trump's, or sorry, I guess it's not just his, but with the Space Force, and the logo looks like Star Trek. Do you think the Space Force is big government run amok?
Yeah, I mean the whole space. I mean the whole space thing. I've been out to. Actually, I go regularly out to San Francisco. We have a group of friends. We hook up telescopes and stuff, and we look around. And I'm obviously with most of the bears in this regard. Like, I don't really believe in this whole globe model, and I'm sure you can gather from that what I mean. But it's again, I think this is just another way to extract wealth from people. It's another way to kind of tip the economy in ways that they want. They can take the 52 million or whatever it is, and they can redistribute it to whoever they want, or I don't know how they move money. I'm not a finance guy. I have no clue.
Yeah, I look at the space program mostly as a form of utopianism and as a way to kind of Trojan horse radical environmentalism, which is just big state. So that's how I kind of look at the space program, utopianism. But behind that, there are some other ulterior motives. Like, I think Space Force is trying to get us used to the idea that we might need protection from falling objects, and so we need new forms of air defense for meteors. And yeah, it's just a big government, for non-existent threats, as usual.
Yeah, expansion. It's the expansion of big government and the propagation of you're afraid, you're useless, you're very small, and therefore it's two birds with one stone.
Yes. And then, of course, the logo itself, and this is what people are remarking on, it's the Star Trek logo. And this, to me, just underscores how they sell you big government projects with the culture. Mm-hmm. And all the entertainment is just commercials for what they're going to give you on the news.
Yeah, admittedly, I do believe it's possible to be a Star Wars fan and also a flat earther. Okay, so I've noticed lately sadly, and I know you guys are all going to give me shit business for this, but I bought into the Disney Plus thing because I wanted to watch that Mandalorian, and I did. And I noticed with that app, they are pushing space so hard right now on Disney, and I just saw the logo you put up on the screen in front of me. Man, that is uncannily like the Star Wars or the Star Trek emblem. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's a direct ripoff, and that even the little symbol in the middle looks just like it. And about six months ago on Mars, on the planet Mars, they claimed that they found the Star Trek logo, like on a big plateau or whatever. And, obviously it gets people, talking about these two things in association, but it even has that little symbol on the inside of it. And this is, this is given to us by NASA. So it's not like you could go see this with your telescope.
Right. Well, if they ever manage to bring back a living, breathing Vulcan, I'll be convinced. But until then, I'm not sold.
Okay, really quick then. One of their other long-term brainwashing agendas, it's been generations, and early science fiction was all about invaders from Mars, War of the Worlds. If they were to try to fake a UFO invasion today, would most of your friends and family fall for it? Like, what are the odds?
Yeah, they would. Again, I'm not, I do talk to my friends and family. I come from a broken ass home though. Like I was homeless when I was 15 and everything. So, I don't have a lot of contact with anyone but my mother, and she's, it's kind of like with women in my life, at least in my experiences, women don't care as much about this stuff on average. So sometimes, I'll mention like, oh yeah, we went out to the coast, we saw this, or, I'll mention the math about flat Earth and the, yada yada, but they don't really care as much. And yeah, I think they would, like if it was portrayed in the media and they were more aware of what was going on and all that different stuff, or watched the news more, they would definitely fall for it.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. I'm like, I see so many things I think that are just so fake, but people are visually illiterate. Where, I've seen people like Joe Rogan's watching this Porsche on a computer screen, and the guy's like, no, that's CGI, and he flips out because he couldn't tell the difference. And I'm like, well, these people put their minds in the hands of the government when they're going to trust what they see on the screen. They become visually illiterate.
Yeah, exactly. Well, even if it is just a visual thing, you got to, you got to trust your mind as well. That's really the final hurdle is being able to discern things that aren't just visual. So.
Yeah, that's another point too, because the visual thing, you see the person crying, she's crying or he's crying, it's an emotional response. That's the immediate reaction they want you to have, which is your short-term thinking. And no, we have to have that impartiality, like, could this be fake? And that's why they censor people who call people crisis actors. They don't want you to have a non-emotional response.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I've been digging your channel lately, man. It's really good. I just got on here like 3 days ago, and again, all kinds of gravy, all kinds of
Cool.
gravy.
Well,
Good stuff.
thanks for getting on board. You would have been one of the ones that helped push us over 1,000, so I should be a partner here soon. So appreciate you calling in and everything as well.
Yeah, man. All right. God bless. Take care.
Likewise, thanks. Okay, so phones are still open for a few more minutes. 505-510-4226. Yeah, that Space Force logo is exactly like the Star Trek logo that we've seen on Mars recently. It's just direct. It's a direct conduit, and they know it. They know that politics, your political decisions, run downstream from culture, and they've been engineering this thing for such a long time. And I ask about this alien thing because they've been planning it for so long. If you look at the original science fiction was always about this incoming Martian invasion, alien invasion. So it's in our culture. In fact, you've spent more time immersed in UFO invasions than Revelations. It's like the new Revelations. And yes, the virus is way too politicized to be real. I think it's a bunch of. I think it's meant for a few things. I've noticed how fears are on the political spectrum. Like they're actually like bipartisan fears. So, for example, left wingers fear climate change, right wingers fear God. People in the center tend to fear chemtrails and kind of a mixture of both, like man's causing weather change. But anyway, it's pretty much politicized like that. People on the left, they want more immigrants, they want more, so they're xenophile, and they also want a bunch of vaccines. They want to be penetrated by the big government's needles and injected with stuff to save them. Because government's savior. People on the right don't want the needles, and they don't want the invasion. Because that's what it is. Cloward and Piven, it's invasion, it's a tactic. So it's interesting how the right does not want porous boundaries and they don't want the government getting through their skin, and the left wants to tear down the walls and take all the needles. These things are split down the middle. So now with these fake viruses coming out, or this one here, so you have the coronavirus running amok. People on the left are now saying, hey, the misinformation is causing people not to get the vaccines. And now they're calling for a global vaccine. Like, where's Bill Gates? You know, we need that vaccine you've been talking about. Like, they want a global vaccine. So now here's another problem that's globalized. So climate change is globalized. You have your SUVs. Well, climate change is affecting everybody else far worse. So with the vaccines, now the people who are rejecting vaccines, which is the people who are resisting or rather who are accepting the misinformation and rejecting the vaccines, now they represent a threat to everybody. Not just giving measles to other kids in school, but now we're talking pandemic. And you have, of course, Netflix with Pandemic, which comes out right in time to let people know what's going on in the world. And I correlated this with Geostorm. The movie Geostorm came out right when they started showing us Firenadoes. And it opens up with Firenadoes, which didn't exist before that damn movie. Pandemic, How to Prevent an Outbreak. Netflix releases a new 6-episode docu-series called Pandemic, How to Prevent an Outbreak. This is 1 day ago, New York Post. You can't tell me they didn't know what was coming. They knew. Because it's fake. It's meta-scripted. Netflix releases pandemic docuseries as coronavirus spreads. And again, they said 33 million people quarantined in China? Just like I said, I think it was 33 states where people caught the vape AIDS. Who's getting vape AIDS anymore? Let me take a look and see if that number is still 33. Like, you don't hear about it anymore. Nobody, look. Lung disease linked to vaping in 33 states. The vaping lung illness epidemic has broken out in 33 states. 33 states impacted by vaping lung illness. So anytime I see that 33 million quarantined, 33 states, man, bear, pig virus, flu virus, swine virus, corona, snake, Chinese virus, vape, AIDS, all fake diseases. All fake diseases. And we made up vape AIDS a week before it made the news, and I thought they might have got it from us. Like, we made it up. We're like, what's next? They're going to say that this is giving you some illness, and boom. In fact, I can prove it. If you do a search for vape AIDS, you'll find some early IPS memes that came out. Here we go. Before the news brought it out. Damn, that Twitter account got shut down. This tweet is unavailable. Because they don't want that getting out. But it's here, trust me. Some of them are indistinguishable from these actual, oh, here we go. This one's great. Thank you, MVP, for all those retweets. This is one of the best ones. I just thought about how cool the plumes of smoke made me look in front of my friends. Vape AIDS, a new strain of fake disease to fear. Talk to your kids about vape AIDS. This is a fake health alert brought to you by Infinite Plane Radio. Yeah, this is where it's at. They're stealing from us. We've got really the meme tank is where they're drawing their news from. My point being, though, you don't hear about this anymore. Kind of like with the serial killers or the mass shooters. It's like it goes for a few news cycles, then people kind of, their attention span wears out. So you know what's going to what's going to cure the coronavirus? Here's my prediction. My prediction about what's going to cure the coronavirus: the public attention span. People are going to forget. They're going to get bored. The Kardashians going to do something. There's going to be a wardrobe failure. The president's going to have some kind of a gaffe. Something's going to happen, and nobody's going to give a damn about coronavirus. So the disease isn't the limiting factor on how long the story goes. The story, in fact, the attention span of the public is, in fact, the limiting factor. Ponoku says, do you ever see a vapor driving in front of you, blowing out huge clouds? Yeah, we have those here. We have a lot of vapists here. I have nothing against them. All right, let's see. Yeah, there you go. The Super Bowl will cure the coronavirus. Exactly. That's more or less what I'm predicting. The Super Bowl is going to cure it. It's going to be cured by something more interesting. A quick shout out to the Morgile. I don't know what this meme means exactly. Yeah, a few places have been calling him out. Look at this. Trump debuts Space Force logo. It's a literal ripoff. They've been ripped on for that, and then also because their uniforms camouflage. And like, why do you need camouflage in outer space? Sorry, don't need any ISIS memes right now. As funny as those are, this is what I was looking for. Do you remember when the Morgile called me a Jesuit Masonic Illuminati shill to his 40,000 subscribers or whatever? I actually made a t-shirt that said, "Trust me, I'm a shape-shifting reptilian Masonic Illuminati shill." And I think we sold like 16 of these shirts that day. So, Morgile goes on this terror for 4 hours, and we cashed in, and we let him know. Just thought I'd bring that up. Thanks to whoever found that shirt. That one's a classic. Let's see. Somebody found this Trinity and Beyond atomic bomb movie. Looks fake. I think nukes are fake. I think they have you groveling in fear in front of a nuke just because it's a way to get you to worship at the altar of big government. It's just a sign of their power over you. The camouflage won't be such a good thing anyway. They also, I shouldn't give them this little hint here, but I'm going to. So NASA, if you're listening, and ISS space station, you guys, you can't have your Space Force in camouflage because the green will cause them to go invisible when they're in front of the green screen, right? It'll cause them to disappear. So no, you can't actually have that. The hidden dangers of cleaning up space junk. Oh man. Stuff that only exists hypothetically. There's not a single astronomer out there who has ever seen space junk. Nobody's ever seen it. There's no video of space junk. But this is what they need Space Force for, and this is also meant to be a criticism of capitalism. That's another thing. Sustainability, pollution in space, these things are being brought up. Like you thought the universe was infinite, they're not treating it that way. Okay, I think I have covered everything I wanted to cover for now. If you want to follow my private blog, it's timosman.space. I would recommend also that if you want to get notifications for when we're live, it's a $1 cover charge, patreon.com/Infinite Plane Society. Once we get 500 people, we'll be getting on AM stations here and there when I have live callers, which will be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun to have these random calls happening when we have 10 times the numbers of listeners, which we will. State forces citizens to pay stargazing permit to view night sky. This just came out, and I think maybe it's because they know something's coming. Look, in New York, you have to pay the state before you can look at the stars. And the person, of course, who put this article made the point that you paid for the damn thing with your taxes. And now, to go out for the purpose of stargazing, you have to get a permit. I think it's only $60, but again, you paid for the park. This is from the Free Thought Project. Thought I would share it with you, just because that's another example of like you can't even look up, I guess. Is that what it is? And maybe it's because they're hiding something, or maybe it's just because they're going to see what level of nonsense that you will, passively tolerate. Okay, I will be back tomorrow evening, Saturday night. We have some interesting things happening tomorrow during the day. Let's see if I have any more comments. I did have a couple of emails I wanted to respond to, but I think I'm going to do it tomorrow. So those of you who've been sending me email tips, I'm going to be reading those all at once. And I'm going to take off. This is Chief Crow and the Flat Earth Worms. I'll give you a link below because I think you all ought to subscribe to it. And I'm going to find probably the most calming song right now I can. It's probably a good idea. This is Space is Fake AF. And please subscribe to this channel.
Because you can see the stars.
Oh yeah.
And
we were never able to see.
Okay, hold on. There's an ad. There we go. Sorry, I had to skip it.
Daylight side of the moon. It's not black and white. I mean, it's black, but there's all kinds of polka dots.
Space is fake AF. Space is fake AF.
There's more than stars. You can see planets. You can see moons.
you see the gas.
It don't matter. Say the sky was not the limit.
the sun is the darkest night you can imagine.
Hey, space boy, you broke my rocket man heart. Where are the stars? Is it bright or is it dark? The vacuum of space, oh, the tomfoolery.
What happens if you get a leak on that? You have a leak.
Deep over my bubble.
It's hard to comprehend.
Space is fake AF.
Two little bitty O-rings.
Space is fake AF.
It's not what you think, homeboy.
Space is fake AF.
It's all just start doing this.
Space is fake AF.
Research Eddie Bravo. You just have a leak. And what you would do is lose air.